coming into Columbia pretty soon. So basically, if you live in Marion County, you need to go ahead and get into your safe spots right now. So basically, this will be coming over towards Hamage by 12:05, Foxworth by 12:11, the city of Columbia by 12:14, Fortenberry by 12:17, Goss by 12:19, Society Hill. I think this is going to go just to the south of you, Society Hill, but it did include you. I'm more worried about Improve right here at 12:30. That's what I'm looking at right now. So we're going to continue to watch this threat very carefully. Again, this is going to be a long day here across the Pine Belt, and we're going to continue to watch for the threat of severe weather. But again, the first tornado warning of the day has been issued here in the Pine Belt, and this goes until 1 o'clock, and we're most likely going to see more storms as the afternoon wears on here across the viewing area. So get ready. It's going to be a long day, but we're going to be here to keep you safe and informed. So that's the latest that I have with that right now. I'm looking in Weather Service chat to see if anything, if they're saying anything with the warning. Earlier there was a wall cloud reported near Dexter with this storm. Again, that was in Walthall County. But let's look at this on velocity mode at the moment. So here we are, very tight rotation with this storm, and as you can see, a new tornado warning has, or an update with this tornado warning. All right, this is going to be a new tornado warning, so things are popping off really hard here this afternoon. We're sitting here at 1 o'clock with a new tornado warning for Covington, Jefferson Davis, and Simpson County. This storm is near Prentice, and that's going to be moving off towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Now, it's going to be one of those days where we're going to be tracking multiple storms as they're on the ground, and things are going to kind of progress quickly. Sometimes it'll be slow, sometimes it'll be fast, but I'm afraid today is going to be a day when we're going to see a lot of warnings here across the area. But I want to go back to the velocity with some of these storms, because the velocity with this one near Kokomo, very tight right now. As you can see, it's sitting just to the south of Kokomo, just to the south of 98. I'm going to get a little bit tighter. I want to see this on street view, because I would like to see some streets to let everybody know where this thing is. So we're getting out towards 10 Mile Creek Road. There we go. Brenton Bay Road, Columbia Road, New Hope Kokomo Road, Shiloh Fire Tower Road, New Hope Church Road, Stringer Bullock Road. You all need to be in your safe spot, because the rotation is very close to you at the moment. It is sitting here on the county line, and everything continues to move off towards the north and east. And meanwhile, we have that other area of rotation, which is currently off towards our north. This one is a decent area of rotation, and this is near Silver Creek. This is going to go north into northern Jeff Davis County, so we're not worried about Bassfield with this one, but Bassfield, you're in the other warning. So basically, two areas of concern. The one right now is sitting near Zion Church Road, kind of near Zion Church Road and 42. Again, this is in northwestern Jeff Davis County. Eventually, this will be heading up towards Clem, areas around State Road 13, and eventually, if this holds together, it could impact Mount Olive here within the hour. So definitely it's just looking to be a rough day, and like I said, we got warnings continuing to come in here across the area. Now Ryan is looking at this storm right now. Ryan, are you seeing anything at the moment?
Just watching that one that you've been focusing on, just to the southeast of Kokomo there, the one that pretty much has Foxworth and Columbia in its sights right now. That one showing pretty tight rotation, which is what you're seeing right here. When we look at the velocity, you'll hear us use the word couplet a lot. That's just an area where you're seeing rapidly rotating winds, wind coming towards and away from the radar. So that's what we look for when we're looking for tornadoes. Pretty much any severe storm has some general rotation to it, and that's kind of what you can see as you see like time lapses of these storms as they're moving through. They kind of have that sinister roll to them. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking specifically for that very tight rotation here, because all of the ones that have been popping up all day have been rotating. We've had issues since this morning with some very small areas of rotation, that one of which didn't even have a warning associated with it, but did create damage down in southeastern Jones County. So what we're watching right now is this one, and this is on the leading edge of things. So as you'll see when Patrick zooms it out here in just a moment, there's a whole train of other tornadoes just downstream of this one going in that same direction. So that's kind of what we've been preparing for all day. Wouldn't you say, Patrick?
Yeah, that's what I would say, Ryan. And Unfortunately, I think we got a new tornado warning that has just come out. So now we are covering 3 different tornado warnings now, and I think we're about to see a 4th one, because look at these cells. These were showers about 20 minutes ago, but because of the extreme instability, we're now seeing these quickly grow into impressive supercells. You can see the very apparent hook with this one near Montrose. This one is going to be for Jasper and Newton County until 1 o'clock. Radar indicated rotation with this one. This is going to stay on the northwest side of Highway 15, but basically Montrose, and then this will be moving into Newton County. But look at this other one towards Silverina. Very healthy structure with this storm. No warning with it yet, but I would not be surprised within the next few minutes. So if I was in Silverina, just go ahead and get to your safe spot. I know it's not official. You're not officially under a warning, but this storm looks very impressive to me with that very well-pronounced hook to the south and west of town. But again, we got 3 warnings that we're currently covering here across the area. So I'm going to kind of reset. I want to take a wide look here and show you everything that is going on at the moment. So it always helps if I click the home button. But look at this. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, and then look at all the plethora of tornado warnings that are down here into the parishes of Louisiana. This is what we were really afraid of happening this afternoon, and it's coming to fruition now. Is the threat of these very intense supercells, and we were worried that they would start coming out of the parishes of Louisiana. And look, every single one of them has that very well pronounced couplet hanging with them. So basically, there are 2 or 3 that are sitting in Washington Parish. There's another one over here towards St. Tammany Parish. There's another one over here towards the Hammond area, and again, all this is moving off towards the north and towards the east. So we're currently tracking things at the moment, and everything continues to move off towards the northeast. Now, meteorologist Hannah Hayes is out, and we're going to talk with her in a few minutes, but I'm going to toss it over to Ryan. Ryan?
At some things here. I have it over to what's called a mesoscale discussion, where they break down your general weather forecast area a little bit smaller for the National Weather Service. And you can see where they put this area of interest, which they actually call a PDS situation, like a particularly dangerous situation. And that is right where you see, if I go ahead and switch it to warnings here, just showing all the active warnings, taking away all the cloud cover, all the radar reflectivity, everything that just kind of clutters things up. You can see what we're dealing with here, just an actual parade of tornadoes kind of approaching from southeastern Louisiana, moving northeast. So we've already just started to see these pop up, kind of outliers ahead of the whole thing. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 active tornado warnings just to the southwest of the Pine Belt and approaching that direction. And this, as Patrick said, is exactly what we were afraid may happen. It was looking like at one point we'd see a couple of rounds of this with the supercells coming in the morning, and then the squall line situation more in the afternoon. Then as we started to head towards the late morning, I would say about 9:30 to 10, it started looking like we were seeing some sun coming out, some warming, and that's just not what you needed to see today. You wanted to keep any sort of warming or instability down, and that's not what happens when the sun comes out. So when things quieted down after our early morning round of tornado warnings that ended right around 9 o'clock, that's when it kind of set the stage for this, and now we're seeing that, as you said, Patrick, coming to fruition.
Yeah, and we got meteorologist Hannah Hayes. She is live right now at the Jones County Storm Shelter, and we're going to talk to her in just a second. But again, we're tracking 3 tornado warnings, but I'm afraid we're going to see more coming up here in just a few minutes. Now, we got Hannah live, so I'm going to toss it to Vanessa. Vanessa, what do you know that she has going on up there this afternoon?
All right, well, thanks for that, Ryan and Patrick. We're going to take you over to Covington County first. No damage so far, but that could change this afternoon. All right, I'm being told that we're going to Jones County, so let's toss things over to Hannah.
All right, now we're getting a little bit of communication problems with Hannah, but we're going to go back to her in just a few minutes. But again, we're tracking several storms. The one I'm more concerned about right now is this storm over here towards Covington County at the moment. It's this storm that is right here just on the west side of Marion County. And again, very tight rotation with this storm. The rotation now near Taylor Road and Shiloh Fire Tower Road right here near 98. So this is going to be about a mile or two west of the town of Columbia. Okay, about 5 miles, but still, this is going to be very close to Foxworth, and this is about to move into Columbia. So Foxworth and Columbia, you need to get into your safe spot right now. In fact, I want to go ahead and do this. I want to go ahead and pull up our sky cam. I want to look off towards the west. And Thomas, I'm going to ask if you can take Max 1 full at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pan this camera off towards the left and right. So just take Max 1 full whenever you're ready. There we go. All right, so we're looking off towards the west with this storm. And this is where, if we're going to see anything, it's going to be off in this direction. Now, one thing, as always, we live in South Mississippi. There are trees, so I'm not going to get a good view. It may have to be a little bit, once it gets a little closer to our camera, once it's into Columbia, but we have this thing ready. It's lined up and ready to go. So if we see anything suspicious or ominous, we'll go ahead and take that camera whenever we need to. But again, we're still watching things very carefully out there this afternoon as everything continues to move from west to east here across the Pine Belt. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on radar right now, and y'all just let me know whenever Hannah is ready to go. We'll go back to her whenever she is available. But as of right now, we're still watching this one storm down here near in areas over around the west side of Columbia. All right, so let's go ahead and toss it over to Hannah. Hannah, what's going on up at the Jones County Storm Shelter right now?
That's right, guys. I am here at the storm shelter in Jones County, where about 10-15 people are already here sheltering for the storms rolling in right now. Of course, it is always best to get in your safe spot as soon as you can, whether it be at home or at a storm shelter. I'm here right now with Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry, why do you come to these storm shelters?
Well, actually, I come to the storm shelter because we were hit by a major tornado in 2020, right around my 70th year young birthday. And wow, what a welcome to the 70s. Normally, we didn't have storms like this in the early days, 60s, 70s, and 80s. But I think due to global warming, they become more powerful, more destructive, and more erratic. And we have a sense of camaraderie when we come into the shelter here. Yeah. People look out for each other, care for each other. But we come to it because it's a more safer place than being at home right now. And what you young ladies are doing is great to come out and being a part of our lives here. Really, I'm an author, I'm a writer, inventor, professional speaker. I do a number of things. So hopefully we can weather this storm. And Christmas storms are normally more dangerous for some reason. I don't know why. Right. But around Christmas are more dangerous. Thank you for allowing me to share with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys heard it here first. So if you feel safer in a shelter, it's always best to come early before the storm hits. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Hannah. Go ahead and pack up, Hannah, and get back to the station as soon as you can. I don't want you out there any longer with how things are really shaping up. Right now, we're still seeing very tight rotation on the west side of Columbia. This right now is right on top of Foxworth. This is probably about a mile or two away from West Jones High School. So right now on top of Bill Marks Road. So you need to be in your safe spot now. This area of rotation will be crossing the Pearl River very soon. Rotation is very tight with this supercell, and a tornado could produce at any moment. So basically, if you're in the city of Columbia, you need to be in that safe spot now. Foxworth, it is on top of you. You've got, you should have already been in your shelter about 5 to 10 minutes ago, but the rotation very tight with this cell. And now we got a new warning coming out, or an update to a warning. I'm gonna click on here to see. All right, so they're updating that warning up in Jasper County, Newton County until 1 o'clock. Again, the area of rotation with this hook is near, getting near the county line. It's north of Montrose, and this will be heading over towards the town of Newton very soon. Because it's on the fringe of our market, we're going to kind of have to skip around. Again, we still do have that tornado warning in effect for Covington County, Jeff Davis County, and Simpson County. The cell is near Clem, and the area of rotation is going to be passing near Mount Olive very soon. Mount Olive, McGee, basically, if you're on 49 between Mount Olive and McGee, you need to stop. You need to get into a safe spot right now, because this couplet is heading directly towards you. So we got 3 that we're watching, 2 that I'm really concerned about. One's leaving the area, so we're just gonna stay focused on the 2 that are nearby. But things are definitely ramping up here across the area, and again, very tight rotation with this storm. It's now coming into the west side of Columbia. And Thomas, I'm gonna ask you again to take our sky cam full. I want to see if we can see anything on the horizon with this storm. So go ahead and take that sky cam full, and that way I can walk over here and move the sky cam, because with us being on a temporary set, I have to kind of move around in every little way. But we're looking off towards the west right now. I'm not seeing any areas of rotation. And Ryan, if you see anything in Weather Service chat that needs to be brought up, just interrupt me. But right now, I'm just seeing a lot of rain. We're looking off towards the west, and I'm not seeing any kind of imminent lowering. But it's definitely a day that if we do see anything, today will be today. And we'll kind of zoom out just a little bit and kind of pan down just a hair, and everything is looking okay there at the moment. But again, that area of rotation right now is just on the west side of Marion County at the moment, and this is now coming into the west side of Columbia. So things are continuing to move from west to east here across the area this afternoon. And if we see anything on that sky cam, we'll be sure to let you know. Rex Thompson, you're joining me now.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't have mic on, but there's an observed tornado near Washington Parish that will probably move up toward Lamar County or Marion County.
Okay.
So I just want to let you know that.
Okay. So
it's actually observed on the ground.
Okay, so that's in Washington Parish, you said,
Right.
correct?
That's Bogalusa.
Okay, so this is So this is way out in Washington Parish. This is down towards Franklinton. Again, they are reporting a confirmed tornado on the ground with that storm. Again, that's way out of our viewing area, but it is something we're watching. This again would be heading up towards the north and east. We got plenty of time to watch that one, so thanks for letting me know about that, Rex. But we're still watching things very carefully. And Ryan is looking at debris detection right now. Are you seeing any kind of debris on the radar with you on your end?
That one you're looking at over near Columbia does have some. It appears like it's pretty broad, and if anything is very likely elevated. So not anything definitive, but when I was looking at one of those ones a little further down in Washington Parish that you just confirmed, you can see this little area right here, which is what I'm looking for, which is known as a TDS, or tornadic debris signature, also known as a debris ball. So what we're looking at here, this particular radar product compares the sizes of what is being returned. So when you all have rain and it's just the same size raindrops, you get a fairly uniform color like this. But where you have something going from small to large, or from wide to skinny, or any sort of rapid change like that from run to run, you get a low value, which kind of gives you cooler and cooler colors. So you see we went from red to yellow with a little blue mixed in there. So when you start seeing something like this, that means you're picking things up that aren't raindrops, that are bigger than raindrops, that are bigger than hailstones, and you're lofting that up into the air. And generally that is going to be your detritus from the ground, trees, pieces of house, if that is unfortunately the case with this storm. So I don't know if that's moving through an area where it would be picking things up like that, being out of the zone, but this is approaching us. And as we back up here, you can see that the concern with that, and why we would even bring up something that's out of the area, is just because of the way they're marching towards us here. These two with the white backdrops are confirmed on the ground, seen by trained spotters, or just completely unable to be ignored on the radar. So those are still out of frame and marching towards the Pine Belt. The one that we've got up near Columbia and Foxworth right now seems to be the most significant in the area, with the tightest rotation and the potential for that debris ball, for that debris signature that we saw. Starting to see some low values, but could just be hail transitioning from rain, things like that. So it's something we're definitely watching with all of these. And the real issue is, there's so many of them. Normally we can sit and focus, and I can talk about one storm for all morning like we did earlier today, but with them popping up so quickly across the area, and with them being, in some cases, seemingly particularly dangerous, like this one down here that we were talking about near Columbia. Some very high reflectivity values in there, now passing just north of Columbia. And if we take a look at that would show why we were getting some of those higher values there, because there is reporting a hail core there according to radar. So that once again, I can't see hail coming down in that area. I just have to use the tools that I have, and that's all coming together to tell us that we very likely have, if not an active tornado on the ground, a situation that is rapidly heading in that direction, with hail happening there, with the rotation couplet that we're seeing, and of course National Weather Service lighting up the area with the warnings, definitely telling us that. So just real quick here, since I have the little hail core that I can see, and they just updated it, so we have a pretty good idea of its location. I'm going to go out for about the next 30 minutes here and see what we can get as far as where that may be headed. So looking at the major cities that pop up there, we have Fortenberry, as you can see, at the 12:24. I'm going to say that's expose or expose. 12:26 p.m., so just here in the next few minutes, and then the last one just before 12:40, they're headed to Bunker Hill. So assuming that that is a tornado on the ground, and like was said all morning, it's best to just assume that. The same way you should assume that any firearm near you is loaded, you should assume any tornado warning is an active on the ground situation. And if that was the case, then within the next 7 minutes here, we'll be looking at a possibly large tornado on the ground moving towards Fortenberry there. So that's why you're going to hear us talking about these areas in front of these storms so much. We want to get the message out there that if you are in the path, you need to be in that safe zone of your house, wherever that happens to be. And it could be a couple of things. You know, if you happen to have a basement or a storm shelter, then that's absolutely great. Go ahead and head there. That's the best case scenario, but those are actually pretty rare in the area. I've lived for 40 years and I've never lived in a house with a basement. So the best thing most of us can do is just to get in that lowest level, bottom ground floor, most interior room in your house so that you are as protected from the outside as you could possibly be. So there's also a lot more we could go into with that, and I'm sure I'll have the opportunity. We'll go back to Patrick to see if we have any updates on what's going on.
Yeah, we've been continuing to see more warnings popping up, and again, we're watching that area of rotation move through the city of Columbia right now. I'm watching our Skycam. I'm not seeing anything suspicious at the moment, but we are looking at it very carefully. But one thing to note is that today we are just going to see warning after warning, and unfortunately, this is going to be one of those events where we're going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth here, and it's definitely just going to be a long day for us here in South Mississippi. Unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast, but again, we are here. We're here to keep you safe, and we're going to do that as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. One thing I'm doing right now, I'm loading up my show right here, but as you can see behind me, we are watching that area of rotation, and again, the entire viewing area is under a level 4 high threat of severe weather. That's a 4 out of 5, and this is definitely nothing to sneeze at for today, unfortunately. We're getting reports now of a tornado that's on the ground. It's with the storm that was in Jasper County earlier. It has now moved into Newton County. That is our sister station, WTOK. They are providing great coverage, and if you have any loved ones up near Newton County, near the town of Newton or along 80 and I-20, definitely tune in to them because they are covering this one wall to wall. But because that one's now leaving our market and we got 3 other warnings that I'm watching, we're going to have to hand that off to them. And again, WTOK, our sister station Meridian, is handling that warning at the moment. Meanwhile, we got another tornado warning. This is now for the McGee area. So this is going to go just south of McGee. Eventually, this could go close to Mize, out there towards 28. That's where the area of rotation is now. By the way, Mount Olive, if you live in the Cotton County part of Mount Olive, you're in the clear. You're okay. But we're still watching other cells. And again, one of probably the more beefier cells that we're watching is this one right here. And if you remember last week, I talked about it had a BWER, and that's a bounded weak echo region, and you can see that represented here. Basically, it's a little donut area. It shows you that the cyclone, the mesocyclone, the rotation in the storm itself is very mature, and we're seeing that kind of is kind of displacing some of the raindrops. So we're seeing signs that the atmosphere is very destabilized this afternoon, and again, we have very tight rotation with this storm. It is now well north of Columbia, so if you live in the Columbia city limits, so you're okay. But this is now getting close to 35 out here towards Bunker Hill, improved. Bethel Church Road, Gates Road, State Road 35, State Road 44. You need to be in your safe spot because this is the very tight rotation that we are looking at right now. And this continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. And it's doing so at about 40 miles per hour. But again, there is a new tornado watch that has just came out. So I want to go ahead and click on that real fast. The new tornado watch is going to load up here in just a second. This is going to be in effect. Rex, do you have the moment? Because the graphic's not showing it just yet. Do you have when that new tornado watch?
Yeah, I've got it right here. Let me get click over here right quick.
We'll go ahead and load it up, but we do have that new tornado watch. It's going to be basically for the entire viewing area, but it is going to go much further than the listed 1 o'clock. But we got the one that's still in effect now, but and that's why it's not showing me the current time. But Rex, whenever you get that pulled up, just holler.
It's not showing up yet, but hopefully it will soon. But there's a preliminary spotter report from Brett Adair.
Okay.
He's spotter is 3 miles northeast of West Hattiesburg. In Lamar County, large rotating wall cloud crossing Highway 49 just outside of Hattiesburg to the northwest, starting to lower some, but no final evidence this time. But they're watching that very closely.
Okay,
as well.
so that would be this storm over here near Lux. It's very close to us here at the TV station. So it just goes to show you, and this is not a very mature storm. This is it has rotation. This will be going very close to the Hattiesburg Laurel Regional Airport, and as you can see, we're not too far away from that. So we're watching that very carefully, but we are seeing a wall cloud and some broad rotation with this storm. But this could tighten up, so just kind of heads up. Hattiesburg Laurel Regional Airport, the Moselle area. This is something that we could see possibly caused problems a little bit later on. And Rex, you have more information.
Yeah, the tornado watch has been extended till 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay, that is this a PDS watch, Rex?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to see right quick.
Okay, so PDS watch. This is something the Storm Prediction Center, they mentioned that this could be happening today. PDS is the highest level tornado watch, the highest level a tornado watch can attain. It stands for particularly dangerous situation. They only issue those in rare situations. But again, that tornado watch now in effect until 8 p.m. tonight here across the area. We're still watching an area of rotation now in northern Marion County. This is really the only one that we got in our viewing area at the moment. I'm gonna look over here at correlation, and it's very messy out there at the moment, so it's not really showing me any real definitive answers that whether this is on the ground or not, but it's definitely showing very strong rotation, whether it has a debris signature or not. The only difference between that, of course, it would be something that is on the ground. But one thing I want to do now is I'm going to flip over here to analyst, and one thing I want to show you is our rotational products. So this right here is on Gibson Ridge. As you can see, Bunker Hill, Bassfield. This is some very strong rotation here in northern Marion County. As you can see, the strong rotation sitting there near the Bunker Hill area, and this is where it is. So this is, you just kind of do some back of the napkin math. Or doodling, you can see this will be eventually coming up towards the Melba area a little bit later on, possibly within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So you need to be into your safe spot right now if you're in those areas. Ryan, I'm looking over at you. You're watching the same thing I'm seeing. Are you seeing anything different? Let's put a different perspective on it, a different set of eyes. You
Sure
seeing
thing.
anything?
Well, you were talking about looking for that debris signature. The only one I've found with any of these is there was one associated with the storm system and the warning leaving Jasper County and going into Newton. That one did have, and of course was confirmed on the ground with the white outline. That one did have a very visible debris signature, so certainly on the ground and causing damage. None of the ones in our area seem to have that just yet, but there are some, as he said, messy values, which is indicating that there's very likely some changes going on. Maybe we're starting to see more hail development in a storm that wasn't developing that just yet, and that's one of those stepping stones that just takes you a little bit closer to a tornado. But what I'd like to point out, which is kind of a concerning thing, is if you look at some of these, all the ones that are warned are obviously garnering all the attention, but if you look around, all these little discrete storms that are popping up, like this one up here just to the southwest of Waynesboro. And if you look over by Ellisville, you can see another one, and it's probably hard to see. I'll zoom in a little bit more so maybe it's better. Which one of those is the one that Patrick just pointed out over here near Moselle, near the station, just to the northeast of Lux, that one right there. So you can see these look very similar. As these begin to pop up, and it looks like we have a new one developing up there near Mulberry, as each of these discrete supercell storms pop up, any one of these could start rotating. With the atmosphere that we have, you heard Patrick and we've been saying all morning, the entire area has the same risk. So any of these storms that are popping up, just like this, having that same kind of almost comma shape to it, all it needs is a couple of more ingredients, a little bit more time to organize, and we could start seeing more warnings dropping out of these as well. So not only do we have 2 or 3 active ones in the area right now and more approaching us, any one of these that's developing that's on the southeastern side of this front, which is pretty much the entire area, could develop into another rotating supercell, which may give us more warnings. And of course, when these start spreading out like this, that's where you can really start having problems. And it's even harder because if you look at them, some of the ones that are warned have rotation, but you can also see that this one over by the station has a little bit of rotation as well. This one up near Laurel has a seemingly pretty tight rotation, but does not have a warning associated with it. So you've got the National Weather Service, you've got us, you've got all these meteorologists watching each one of these pop up and trying to figure out which one is going to check off those boxes to get what it needs to start developing tornadoes. So it looks like I need to frantically give it back to Patrick here, who has an update for us.
Yeah, we're watching some clouds on the west side of Laurel, and you were just talking about that rotation west of Laurel. Rex, you just got a report over Weather Service chat of a funnel cloud on the west side of Laurel, correct?
Right.
All right, so let's go ahead and take this sky cam full. Thomas, take Max 1 full whenever you get a moment, please, and thank you, sir. There we go. So we're looking from Laurel Ford, currently 73 degrees out there. We're currently looking off towards the west at the moment. You can see the clouds. They definitely got a little bit of motion with them. I'm panning this off towards the west, and I'm thinking that if it is near, I mean,
That could be the wall cloud.
that could be the wall cloud. It's definitely low. I want to spin it around just to double check, but I mean, ominous, very ominous looking clouds here as we look around the area, and I'm looking off towards the north there. That's it right there. That's it. All right, so we are looking at a very big wall cloud. We're tracking this live. This again is on the north side of Laurel, and again, a very low hanging cloud. No tornado with this at the moment, but as you can see, the atmosphere is very primed. And we'll zoom in just a little bit on this, but as you can see, that is the wall cloud. This is where the rotation is inside of that thunderstorm.
There it is. They just warned it.
All right, so they just put a tornado warning on that. Ryan or Rex, what is the latest with that?
Tornado warning for Clark, Jasper, Jones until 1:30. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Laurel, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour.
All right, so we are watching this very carefully right now. I think I'm gonna have to turn the brightness down just a little bit because this is if it's gonna be anywhere, it's going to be right here.
It could drop a tornado anytime.
It really could. I'm turning the brightness down just so we can get a little bit of contrast. But this, again, a new tornado warning where area of rotation is near Shady Grove. And this is our sky cam up at Laurel Ford. We're looking off towards the north. The cars, as you see there, that is Highway 15 on the north side of town. And as you can see, very low clouds and things are very ominous. There's tight rotation, and this storm could produce a tornado at any moment. It's very low to the ground, but as you can see, there is a little bit of rotation in the clouds. So basically, if you're on the north side of Laurel, you have to get in your safe spot right now. Again, a tornado warning. And what time does that expire, Ryan?
1:30.
So tornado warning for Jones County, Jasper County, and Clark County until 1:30. And again, we're watching this low-hanging wall cloud off on the north side. There was a report of a funnel cloud a few minutes ago. Correct, Rex?
Yeah, but he says it has actually weakened right now.
Okay.
But that's not the one we're looking at right there.
Yeah.
This is another one.
All right, so I mean, this is some very low-hanging stuff. As you can see, some of this low stuff off towards the left side of your screen where that billboard is for the attorney, that right there is what we call scud clouds. So it's low-hanging clouds. It's very low to the ground, but it's not rotating in that spot. But we are seeing, if you look, you can see a little bit of kind of broad rotation with this storm. And again, this is the north side of Laurel. This is Laurel Ford right now. We're seeing a ragged wall cloud. And Rex, I mean, this is just a wild day here across the area. We're under a very high threat of severe weather. I'm looking at some of this. It's getting close to that Burger King sign. Some of it looked like it was trying to do something, but it's hard to tell sometimes with the brightness and things off into the distance, whether it's just a little bit of rain, whether it is something trying to tighten up. But that Burger King sign is right in the way.
Right in the way of
it's
it, yeah.
Perfect advertising for Burger King, but we're watching this area because we definitely have some rotation here. And again, this is on the north side of Laurel. So if you're in Shady Grove, out towards Sharon, Sandersville, you got to get in your safe spot right now. We got a very low-hanging wall cloud that we're looking at here on the north side of Laurel. And again, this is moving off towards the northeast very quickly, and you can see that rain curtain kind of on the back side of the storm. But again, a very ominous cloud as we look off towards kind of the north and east from our camera. Again, this is on North Laurel near the Walmart. But again, area of rotation is currently just off towards the north, and now we're starting to get hidden by trees. But as you can definitely see, there is some lowering there, and that is the wall cloud. If this is if there's going to be a tornado, we are looking at it. So if there's going to be something, it's going to happen here on our screen. Right now, I do see that lowering, but as you can see here in that little
you got the
break
trees
in the
in the
trees, it's not on the ground. But I mean, if anything's about to happen, we're about to lose the view of it because it's going behind the trees.
But I'll tell you what, it probably is headed up towards Baccoma Casino.
Yeah, that's heading up towards that area as well because, I just mentioned Sandersville. Sharon, this is right on top of you right now. But definitely, I mean, yeah, that is definitely a wall cloud. You can definitely see it. It looks like a low-hanging wall. That is the area of rotation. If there's going to be anything, it's going to be in that one area. But
that's definitely a wall cloud.
It's starting to get hid by those trees. And Ryan, are you seeing anything on your side? I know you got the Pathcast pulled up. I want to get some of these people. We've been looking at this now, but I want to toss it to you because I want to get some of these people down the line a heads up on when this is going to arrive.
Absolutely right. You guys had it pretty good with its formation there, and a very textbook example of a kind of ragged wall cloud forming there. So certainly if something's going to happen, it's there. Now this area is warned on top of Laurel, basically on top of Shannon. But not confirmed on the ground, and obviously we didn't see anything as we were looking at the camera, but that doesn't mean that it can't within moments, or as I'm speaking right now, be reaching down and actually make contact. So I pulled up for about the next 30 minutes where this may be headed. Since it's still warned, we'll go ahead and treat it as if it is on the ground. So Sharon's obviously now and for the next 5 minutes. Exit 104 is in the path of this, and I assume that's on 59 there. For that exit number. 1247, so as we head here into about the next 12 minutes, we're looking at it moving towards Bonner, then Haney at 1251, and then Mark Wald right at the end of the list, just as we're heading towards 1 o'clock. And that's assuming that it stays together that long, and again, that it does become a tornado, which we don't have confirmed right now. But all the ingredients are there. We're literally just waiting for it to happen as we were watching that video there. But keeping an eye on this because we have this one developing and the others in the area. So that's what's really the big challenge with this event, is that it's a widespread, which we'll have to wait for how many we end up getting to whether or not it's going to be able to qualify as an outbreak. But I'd feel pretty confident going there this early on. So looking out there again, we still have pretty broad rotation over here just south of Bassfield. That also moving more towards the northeast. And as far as streets go, looks like Hosey Mickle Road and Willie Buckley Road and Graves Keys Road. If you any of those sound familiar, then that's headed in your direction. I can do the the path on this one too, though, to see if we have any major cities coming up in there. Obviously, Bassfield's a little bit too close to comfort for no matter what there. So for about the next 24 minutes, the only thing showing up is Dean and Cantwell Mill, but I'll go ahead and give it back to you guys for an update.
All right, the Weather Service is just about to issue a tornado warning for Forest Lamar County. They said it's forthcoming, so I want to go ahead and show you where that is. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be for this area right here. This is, well, sometimes you gotta love technology. I thought I stopped it, but
That just to the southwest of Purvis?
Yeah, this is most likely where it's going to be for this couplet right here. So this will be coming into Purvis very soon. Purvis, you need to go ahead and get into your safe spot right now. Again, this is moving off towards the northeast at about 40 to 45, and on this trajectory, it would get to Purvis at 1241, exit 51, which is on I-59 at 1244, Oklahola at 1248. Oklahola, by the way, is very close to Lewis Lights, 1253 at Dixie, Richburg at 1255, PRCC's Hattiesburg campus by 1 o'clock, and it'll come into the south side of Hattiesburg by 1 p.m. And if this holds together, it could make it to Petal by 1:06. And again, they are forthcoming with a tornado warning for Forest and Lamar counties.
I've got it.
Just came out. There it is, right there. Rex, go ahead and read it off to me.
Sure, a tornado warning, radar indicated Forest, Lamar County until 1:30. At 12:36, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Purvis, or just 13 miles south of West Hattiesburg, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, and so basically, if you live near Purvis, you got to get in your safe spot now. This is not the time to go out there and look. The atmosphere is very volatile, and we're seeing some tight rotation with this storm. Again, this is going to be coming into Purvis, areas along 589 between Bellevue and Purvis. Oak Grove is going to be in this warning, so will Dixie, Hattiesburg, Sunrise, Petal, and Raw Springs, and on the west side of town as well. So you all need to be in your safe spot right now. Again, 1:30 is the expiration time with this warning. Forest and Lamar counties under a tornado warning now with this storm, and this is just one of many tornado warning storms that we're watching. We got the other storm which produced that lowering wall cloud over here when it was near Laurel. It has now made it up to near 537 just to the east of Moss. This is out towards Sandersville and continuing to move off towards the east. Tornado warning there for Jasper, Clark, and Jones County until 1:30. I do expect Jones County to be removed from this warning probably within the next 15 minutes because it will be moving into Jasper County. But areas around Heidelberg, Vossburg, you need to go ahead and get into your safe spots. And then we're still tracking the original tornado warning that we saw earlier today. This is now in Jeff Davis County. So Marion County, I'm going to give you the all clear at least for this warning. It's not all clear for the whole event by no means, but at least for this one storm, it is now sitting near Bassfield, near Gates Road and 42. That's where the rotation is, and this will be heading off towards the north and east. And eventually, this could become a problem for areas around Covington County, over here towards Williamsburg, and eventually you do some back of the paper doodling. This could eventually come over towards Collins, and this is all continuing to move off towards the north and towards the east this afternoon. So I'm going to draw a path cast on this because I want to give Collins a heads up. So it'll be coming into Dean at 1246, 1256 Williamsburg, and the city of Collins by 1 o'clock. So we got two storms that will be moving into very populated areas, one near Collins, the other one near Hattiesburg. Both of these are expected to move in around 1 o'clock. So you need to be getting into your safe spot now. Multiple tornado warnings that affect across the area, and unfortunately we got more on the way. Rex, what you got?
I'm getting a report out of Slidell, reports of severe damage on Lee Road. Now that's the parishes to the south of our area.
Right.
That could be moving in our area pretty soon.
Okay, so they're getting some reports of severe
damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's definitely not good. And in fact, you know, those are storms that are heading our way. These are coming out of the parishes, Louisiana, and they're going to be the problem.
We got an observed tornado.
Where?
Observed tornado. Let's see. I'm sorry. That's 2 counties out of our viewing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, that's okay. All right, so, you know, we're still watching things very carefully right now, but we're starting to see that one storm come into the south side of Hattiesburg at the moment. 1:30 is when that tornado warning expires for Forest and Lamar counties. And again, this is moving off towards the north and east at about 40, 45 miles an hour. So this will be coming up. I want to get a few more cities to pop up. So this will be coming up towards Oklahoma, which is near Lewis Lights at 12:47, Dixie at 12:52, Richburg at 12:54, PCS by just before 1 o'clock, William Carey at 12:59, Hattiesburg at 1 o'clock. That would put it near USM at around 1 o'clock as well. Exit 67 on I-59 at 1:02. Petal by 1:05, and Petal High School by 1:08. So this is a storm that you don't need to mess around with. Again, these are all heading towards the northeast, and this one, unfortunately, coming into the city of Hattiesburg. It's a little bit too far away for us to look at it from our camera at the campus of USM. But once it gets closer, we'll be able to see if we can scan it. Now, one problem that we're going to have, and it may be until it gets close to the campus that we'll be able to look at it. We got to look through this big rain shield that's between our camera, which sits about right here, and the cell, which is right here. So we're still watching everything very carefully out there at the moment. And a new update is coming out. Rex?
Yeah, tornado warning, radar indicated. This is for Jefferson Davis County.
Okay.
At 12:41, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Melba, or 12 miles southwest of Collins, moving northeast at 40. These things are beginning to speed up some. They were moving on like 30 miles per hour this morning. They're beginning to speed up.
Yeah, they are beginning to speed up this afternoon, and this is the one that was originally in Covington, around Columbia, and now it's been to portions of Jefferson Davis County. So they've removed Marion County now from the warning, but now we got something new popping up here.
Yeah, it's a tornado warning for Clark, Jasper, Jones. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Sandersville, or 11 miles northeast of Laurel, moving northeast at 35.
All right, and that's a pretty long.
That's pretty long. Yeah.
That's a pretty long warning that they've kind of drug out here, and I'm wondering if they did that because of the cell that's near Ellisville at the moment. Again, this is the one storm that we were watching, the wall cloud, with our sky cam earlier. It is now up here near Sandersville, and Rex is monitoring the chat room right now. If you see anything, just holler and let us know. Ryan, you're watching the storm near Hattiesburg, so if you see anything suspicious.
Well, I do have an update. You guys were talking about kind of big picture areas where that storm over by Hattiesburg may be headed. Kind of went down to street level to see if I could get a better idea for what may be coming right up. And it looks like if it stays on its path, it will basically split right between West Hattiesburg and Hattiesburg and put a few different areas in the path of that. Assuming that it is on the ground and stays together. Turtle Creek Mall, that's one that you do not want to hear, especially in the middle of the day like that. So these places obviously need to have some sort of protections in place for people there. And of course, if you live near those areas, get to that safe space now. Headed to Merit Health Wesley there by 12:52. Exit 65 right around 12:54, and then looking like it's headed, if again holding together that long, just before 1 o'clock, could be over there by USM right there on the campus. So not what you want to see out of that. That is an active warning. It's not confirmed on the ground, but as we always do, we're going to act like it does and take it back to Patrick.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Of course, we're watching things carefully right now, and they just issued a new tornado warning. This is going to be for Western Jones. This is going to include Soso, Stringer, Taylorsville, Hot Coffee, and Collins and Seminary. So basically Covington, Smith, Southwest Jasper, and Northwestern Jones County. And what time does that warning expire, Rex?
1:45.
At 1:45, and they're tracking this area of rotation. This is moving off towards the north and east. So things are really starting to ramp up here. So out towards Williamsburg at 12:57, Collins at 1:01, Salem at 1:05, Mitchell Farms 1:08, Smith at 1:11, Hot Coffee 1:14, Hebron 1:16, Taylorsville 1:23, Soso 1:26, and Spring Hill at 1:30. Again, this is taking dead aim on the city of Collins. So city of Collins, you need to be in your safe spot now. And if you live on the west side of Seminary, you need to go ahead and be getting in to your safe spot immediately. This is a very dangerous situation. We got warnings popping up left. We got warnings popping up right. It's just a wild day, and I just got a new update coming out here. This is going to be now a new tornado tornado warning over here towards Raleigh. This is on the fringe of our viewing area, so I'm going to briefly mention it, and then we're going to have to go back to the other ones.
Jasper and Smith.
145. Again, the area of rotation is near Raleigh, and this is moving off towards the northeast at the moment. So we're watching everything very carefully. We have, for the first time in a long time, all four of us, well, we're not in the same room because Ryan is where the set is, but I can at least see him through the glass over here.
We can see him.
But it's the first time in a long time that all four of us are working on screen. I have Hannah sitting here. I have Rex over here. We got Ryan over here. It's unfortunately just going to be a very long day here across the area. Now, one thing I do want to show you is this. I want you to take a look at this. I want to zoom in just a little bit, and I'm going to turn off the warnings. I want to show you. I want you to count with me all the little things that I'm seeing out here. So we have so many little areas of rotation. We have, all right, so we have this one near Ellisville. We have this one here. Near to the south and west of Collins. We got another one here in portions of southern Smith County. We got another one just to the north and west, one near Bay Springs. We have one here. We got the one sitting on top of Purvis, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there are about 2 more that are just off screen. These are all rotating supercells. So, I mean, you get the idea. The atmosphere is incredibly unstable this afternoon, that everything that every cell on radar is spinning. Let me repeat that again. Every cell, every rain shower, every thunderstorm is rotating. It's just a matter of how strong that rotation is, so whether the Weather Service is issuing warnings on that or not. But again, Rex.
Yeah, he's watching the storm coming into Seminary College. I think you got it right there.
Yeah,
right
I had
there.
it pulled up. But again, you can see tornado warning for the Hattiesburg, Purvis area, Petal, included, Collins, Laurel, Quitman, and just to the west of Bay Springs towards Silverina. And then we got a plethora of storms coming out. Which storm were you talking about, Rex, that they're watching carefully?
The one near Seminary Collins. I
Okay.
think it's showing up on that.
All right, let me scroll it up. Yeah, so we're watching it right now.
That one right there.
Yeah. What are they saying about it?
This storm tracker, he's a storm chaser. He's watching it come in, starting to see the straight-edged column approach from the southwest of 49, whatever that means.
Okay. So we're still tracking it. If you see anything, just let us know. And everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the west at about 40 miles an hour. And by the way, I'm going to draw another path on here because Williamsburg, this will be coming up to you very soon at 1 o'clock. I would say areas west of Seminary here, possibly, 1248, it's here. I would say probably about right at 1 o'clock as well. So Seminary at around 1 o'clock. Collins at 104. Salem at 108. Mitchell Farms at 111. Smith and Hot Coffee around 115. Hebron and Windsor at about 120 at the moment. And everything continues to move on from the southwest to the northeast here. And this is just one storm that we're tracking. We have 2 other storms. One is near Heidelberg right now, and this right here has got some incredible rotation with it as we put a path on it. This is moving northeast. This will eventually be going through Heidelberg, Vossberg, and Pachuta between now and 1:10. So basically, if you're over here along I-59 in Jasper County, you got to be in your safe spot. Broad area of rotation with this storm, but this storm did have that funnel cloud reported earlier when it was near the city of Laurel. Back off towards the south and west, there's another area of rotation that I'm looking at right now in Ellisville. Hannah, go back to that.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Hannah's looking at the Skycam. That is in Laurel, correct? Yes. All right, so let me pull this up. Leave it there. Mm-hmm. All right, so that is looking southwest, and that is in Laurel, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Laurel Ford. This is the sail that I just had on screen. Look at this. So we're looking off into the distance, and this right here, again, looks to be another wall cloud with this sail that is near Ellisville. Currently 72 degrees. They've gotten a lot of rain so far, but we're watching it off into the distance. So if we were to see something drop, this is the area that we would be looking for it. It's not strong enough, and it is a little bit out at distance right now, but it is something to continue to monitor. Hannah, if you can, go to our Skycam at Jones College, and look off towards the north and towards the west. And I'm going to flip over here so our viewers can see it as well. And again,
Hey Patrick, I do have a viewer who tagged both of us on Twitter with a picture from Laurel that I can't confirm it's a tornado on the ground, but it's fairly convincing.
Okay. So here's what we're looking at. So that was, is that with the storm now? Or is that?
It was posted about 10 minutes ago, so I believe it was the one we were talking about when it initially formed.
Okay. So the first shot that Hannah had pulled up, that was the sky cam from Laurel looking south towards the storm, so it was lit up. Now we're looking north at the storm from Jones College in Ellisville, and again, very dark out there, currently 72 degrees at the moment. We're looking, and we got this panned up where we would definitely see something. If something is going to spin, we're looking at it right now. And I want to go back to that sky cam in Laurel again. We are watching that lowering off into the west. If anything's going to happen, it's going to be in this area. And in fact, Hannah, if you look, to me, I don't know if it's just this giant TV, but if you look very carefully in this area, you can see what appears to be the scud clouds rotating a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That's a great view of the pine tree.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I promise I'm not. I've had these cameras do the same thing to me, so don't worry. But you just kind of have. They just got to. Today's such a serious day. Yeah, go full with this, Thomas. Go full with this. So what I'm looking at is just to the north and west of that pine tree, kind of below the word temperature. So if you see this right here, guys, you notice it almost looks like it's kind of curling back around.
It looks like it's spinning.
It looks like it's spinning. So I think we are watching some rotation now at our sky cam in Laurel. Again, this is south and west of town. But it's definitely spinning, and this is the storm that's coming in to Laurel right now. I want to. Ryan is doing something on Twitter right now, see, so I'll let you stay with that. I'll pull it up on my end real fast, but I wanted to show you, for those of you who are at home, what we're talking about, because we're not seeing anything adverse just yet, but definitely this is going to be coming in very very closely. And in fact, we have the technology. So let's just go ahead and do this. On my end, I'm going to double box this sky cam because I just want to see everything that's going on. So I'm going to pull up our sky cam. That is the sky cam at Laurel Ford. And I'm going to go ahead and double box this. And now we're going to show you what we're looking at. So we got the camera off towards the west, towards the right side of your screen. The area that we're watching over here on the left side of your screen. And again, this is a very kind of serious situation this afternoon with this storm. And the area of rotation currently is sitting over here near Laurel. So we're seeing that area of rotation now near the Laurel Airport, and everything continues to move off towards the north and east. So the Laurel Airport is on the southwest side of town. We're watching this cloud off towards the south and west. And you know, guys, that is starting to look much healthier to me. Definitely, you can kind of see it looks like we're getting a little bit of a rain curtain on the left side of it. Definitely, I'm starting to see rotation with this. It's rotating.
This is not confirmed, but let's see. A rotating wall on spotter is 1 mile southwest of Hattiesburg, Forest County, 3 miles southwest rotating wall cloud. This is coming in obviously from a spotter or something like that.
We're talking about this right here.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. One thing I want to do real fast, I'm going to leave this double box because I want to leave this sky cam up, but I do want to come back. I don't want Hattiesburg and Petal to think that we forgot about them. We have it. This is now coming into the south side of Hattiesburg. This area of rotation not as robust as it was about 20 minutes ago. The area of rotation right now near Richburg is on the south side of Hattiesburg near exit 60. That's where the rotation is, and this is going to be moving over PCS, William Carey, and the south, kind of the southern side of Hattiesburg out near the Cloverleaf. So Lincoln Road out here near the Cloverleaf. You need to be in your safe spot. Downtown Hattiesburg, and eventually this will be heading towards Petal and Petal High School. But again, that image on your right is the sky cam in Laurel, where we're watching a very strong area of rotation with this storm as it continues to move off from towards the north and towards the east. And is that anything new coming in?
Yeah, we got a tornado warning from Marion County until 2 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Dexter, or 9 miles south of Kokomo, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. It issued another tornado warning. This is a tornado warning for Jefferson, Davis, and Lawrence counties.
Okay.
That is a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It was located near JS, moving 14 miles northwest of Kokomo, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. We've got a ton of stuff going on.
Look at how many warnings we have. God.
I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it.
Gosh, this is really turning into a bad day, unfortunately, folks. Everything has a warning on it, and
How many counties are numerous counties?
I would say basically every county west of I-59 is under a tornado warning at this point. Basically, west of I-59, you just need a shelter in place. So that new tornado warning, that is for portions of Jeff Davis County, Rex. What time does that expire?
That expires at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. So basically, Robinson at 109, Silver Creek at 124, Oakville at 124, Prentice at 130, New Hebron at 136, and Terrell at 139. That's the Jeff Davis County new tornado warning. Now let's go to that new tornado warning that's coming out of Louisiana for Marion County. And again, this is going to be on the south side of the viewing area. And again, look at that area of rotation. That's moving off towards the north and east at about, what, 40 miles an hour, Rex?
Yeah, 40.
40 miles an hour.
45 miles per hour.
So 45 miles an hour. So it'll be near Pickwick very soon. Jamestown at 111. Lovelace at 114. Foxworth at 116. Columbia and Columbia Academy at 120. Improve at 133. And Olo at 136. And Ryan, you're tracking stuff too. Are you seeing anything that I'm overlooking? Because Lord knows 18 eyes could be on this and we'd still be missing something.
I was just thinking that is I feel bad that we don't have the staff to really follow each and every one that pops up, because while we're talking about one, that obviously means the 7 others aren't being updated on. So we're trying to bounce around as much as possible. But I pulled it up just here, and of course it looks very sinister with all the red for the tornado watches further east. But as Patrick said, you know, pretty much every storm that's popping up is rotating, and we're starting to see the line itself is still way back by Brookhaven, so it's extending now all the way past Purvis towards Hattiesburg and going to keep inching further and further east as it makes its way that way. So pretty much, like he said, if you're to the northwest of Hattiesburg and still in the Pine Belt all the way up to Simpson County, you're very likely under a tornado warning right now, just because there's so many. There's fewer spaces that aren't under warnings than there are that are, with all the overlap there. So we're continuing to watch each of these develop, watching them on the cameras if we can, tracking them through the different cities. But as we said, you know, we're just seeing each of these little supercells pop up, and every single one that does, and they're just keep coming, because that's how unstable and how primed the atmosphere was for this day, which is why we were seeing this as a potential problem a week ago. Anytime you see severe coming a week in advance, then it's a pretty textbook setup, and that's exactly what we're getting here. Very likely going to be a day that's talked about for quite some time in the weather community here. So as far as which one to watch at this exact moment, it's hard to say. The only ones that are actually confirmed on the ground are out of the area north of Jasper and in Newton towards Lauderdale counties, but every single one of these could be on the ground, and I would say to go ahead and treat it as it is. We say a lot about your safe space, that being the lowest level, most interior room of your home. You should just be spending the next couple of hours there, very likely, especially as we continue to watch this inch eastward. So anyone east of Hattiesburg hasn't even seen significant weather here since very early this morning. So still developing. I want to go back to Patrick here while I take a look at a few other things and try to keep up.
Yeah, I'm really worried about Laurel right now, because we got that rotating wall cloud coming in. We clearly can see the rotation, and look at how low the clouds are right now. So the area of rotation is about to move over our sky cam. I'm going to tell you, there are so many cars right now, so many cars on Highway 15 there on the north side of town. Again, this is right across the street from the Walmart, the Kroger's next door, very populated area of town, and look at the rain beginning to fall there. We're seeing a lot of rotation with these clouds. Hannah, if you could just pan the camera just a smudge to the east just or smudge to the right at least. Just kind of keep ticking it to see if we see anything, because we're getting into the wall cloud itself. This is where the area of rotation would be if we were to see anything. We're going to take that full. Thank you, Thomas. Just keep scanning the sky. If you see anything, we'll be here to look at it. But I think now the area of rotation is basically on top of the sky cam. So just go ahead and do a full 360 with it. Continue on around. We'll just look to see if we see. All right. Oh.
Yeah. Right behind the pole.
Whoa. Ooh. Okay. That don't look good.
No, it doesn't.
That does not look good. That's very low. That is very low to me. Hannah,
almost to the ground.
Zoom in on that, please. Zoom in on that if you would mind, please.
By the way, there's a tornado warning for forest.
Zoom back out a little bit.
Yeah.
Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Hattiesburg, moving northeast at 40.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine. These cameras are like that, so don't worry about it. It's totally fine. You zoom in a smudge and it zooms in at about a mile, but we're looking at a definite lowering here off to the west side of Laurel. In fact, come out a little bit wider. Just come on out back to the wide shot of it. Sure. Okay. And one thing to notice, that's a very low area of cloud cover there. And let me see one thing. As you can notice, these showers are very robust here, and again, we're seeing ominous rotation with some of these storms. As you can see, I'm even having problems operating the camera. They're just very sensitive. But again, we're getting into the heavy rain part of the storm. And I'm just slowly scanning the skies. If we do see anything, it's going to be in this area at the moment. But basically, it's a very strong rotation, a very low area. I am a little optimistic that I see a lot with our sky cam is working. We do see street lights on in the distance. But the area of rotation is right here. We are looking at it, and in fact, I can see the vertical motion with some of these scud clouds. So we're staring right into the heart of it. And Ryan, this is near Shady Grove, correct?
Yes, that's what I was pulling up. We obviously can't see well enough to declare that it's on the ground, but once again, always better to just assume that it is. So I went ahead and pulled up what we got there, and basically this area of rotation, which is a bit elevated because of where it is relative to the radar that's being used to pick up this image. It's right on top of Shady Grove, it looks like, and starting still to push towards the northeast. I've given it about the next 20 minutes here, and you can see it's approaching by about 1:07, which would just be in the next 5 minutes here. Hoy, then 1:12, moving towards Sharon, which I assume extends a little bit further beyond Shady Grove there. Looking at roadways, we're looking at Sharon Moss Road, Sandersville, Sharon Road, and Magnolia Road is just to the south of this area, with exit 104 being another one of those areas we could see interacting with this particular area of rotation by 1:16, and then just before 1:20, looks like we could see it in the Sandersville area.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. We're still watching it, but now it's starting to rain really heavy at that camera location, and we're struggling to see it. But again, this is a long afternoon, folks. Take a look at this. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to clean this up. But I wanted to show you just everything that we're looking at this afternoon. And basically, it feels like this. Everything west of I-59 is under a tornado warning. That's truly what it feels like at the moment. Turn off the sweeping radar and look at this. We got this one. We got a couple of counties. We got tornadoes coming out of parishes from Louisiana, about to go through Columbia. We got another one out here towards northern Jeff Davis County, one near Hattiesburg, near Petal, the area of very low clouds that we were watching near Laurel. Everything is spinning, and so we're going to try to be fair and balanced, but it's just a very active day. So just know, if we're not talking about you, we will very soon. Tornado warning remains in effect for the Hattiesburg, in fact, near Leeville as well. This will go just south of the TV station, but still, Petal, you need to be in your safe spot immediately, as this has turned into a very active day. Are you seeing anything, Hannah?
We're just looking at this. I don't know which one can
That right there looks like Petro Nissan. So, okay, if you're on camera 4, that's Petro.
Yep.
And in fact, so this right here, we're looking from basically out in Oak Grove at this storm. So we got a long distance with this, but you can see this again is about where we should be looking with this storm for the area of rotation. We are looking very far out into the distance, but you can see the area of rotation would be in this vicinity of the thunderstorm, and everything continues to slowly move off towards the north and towards the west, or towards the north and east this afternoon. But Rex has something. What you got?
There's a very rapidly spinning rotation just east of Collins. That's according to media. So,
okay. All right, so we're getting reports of some very tight rotation just east of Collins. Yeah, I would say that's very tight. I'm looking to see no debris signature with anything so far. In fact, if anything is saving us today, it's the fact that nothing has touched down. Everything is spinning, but they're struggling a little bit to tighten up. But it's just going to take one storm to get strong enough that can do it to make today a very bad day. Hot coffee, Salem. You need to be in your safe spot immediately. This is now going to go north of Mitchell Farms. So Mitchell Farms, it's about a mile or two north of you, but it is moving towards Hot Coffee, towards Highway 37 there, and eventually it'll be crossing over the Leaf River near Hebron very soon. And I think on the track of this will take it this will go just west of Soso, but Taylorsville and Stringer, you'll definitely be in the path of this storm. The storm near Shady Grove that we were watching earlier, the rotation not as tight as it was, I would say, about 20 minutes ago, but it's definitely there still. It's rotating, and I'm going to put a track on this. So this will be coming into Shady Grove. It's sitting on top of you now. Sharon at 109, exit 104 on the Interstate 112, Sandersville at 113, Heidelberg at 122, Stafford Springs at 126, and Vosburg at 127. So you need to be in your safe spot now, basically southeastern Jones County. If you live in the city limits of Laurel, I can give you the all clear. If you live out towards Powers, you're all clear. But if you live Shady Grove, I would say northward at 537 and up 15, you still need to be in your safe spot because the rotation is sitting on top of you. Meanwhile, the storm near Hattiesburg right now, the rotation is on top of Petal, and this continues to move off towards the northeast at 45. Basically, Barrontown, Macedonia, and Morristown, you'll be seeing this coming up pretty soon. I wanted to get this a little bit further out.
If it keeps on that path.
Yeah. Rex?
This guy's reporting, the media guy, decent funnel cloud now approximately west of 37, a few miles north of, I guess, Highway 84.
All right, so that's the storm that's in Collins, correct?
Right.
All right,
just east of Collins.
So as you can see, folks, we got so many things we're watching. And then, by the way, there are two others. One that's not tornado warned just yet. I'm going to flip this back over to the Jackson radar site. And then one that is tornado warned. So I want to show you this because it's a little bit easier to see from Jackson. We got rotation near Pickwick. That's the tornado warning now for the city of Columbia, for Foxworth. This is not very tight here. But as you can see, there is some more rotation with the other storm coming out towards Baxterville, and I see that a new tornado warning is about to be issued. Rex, what do you see anything just yet?
There's a tornado warning in effect for Jefferson, Davis, and Lawrence counties until, let's see, 2 p.m.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you right now.
Okay. I see it popped up on Ryan's screen, but I don't see it on my side of the screen. All right. All right, so this is going to be a new tornado warning for Jones County. So Jones
That's
County,
near Macedonia, or near Petal.
We're seeing this is the storm that's coming out of Petal, and that's going to be moving towards Union and Johnson and Tucker's Crossing. So we have that new tornado warning now coming into the southern side of Jones County. This, I think, is just going to go east of the TV station, but still, this is going to be a close call. So we're going to have to watch this one carefully. And I meant to draw a path on this, not a line. All right, so here's what we're looking at. So this right here is currently in Petal. Barrontown at 111, Morriston at 114, Union 120, Johnson at 126, Ellisville 131, exit 90, and on the south side of Laurel at 1:30, and Tucker's Crossing by 1:35. So that's what we're looking at there with this storm. So again, this is out towards Petal, but they did issue that new tornado warning, and everything continues to move off towards the north and east. But Rex, you were just talking about that rotation of a pretty decent wall cloud. That storm right now is sitting right there on the intersection in Hot Coffee. The only building there is that McDonald's restaurant, not the chain, but there's a little family restaurant there. It's called McDonald's, right there at the fork of 532 and 37 in Hot Coffee, and that right there is where the rotation is. Again, I'm not seeing any signs of debris with this storm, but it's definitely something that we're still watching. But again, a lot of tornado warnings in effect this afternoon. Today is a very unstable day for the atmosphere. The atmosphere is very volatile, and everything that is going up is spinning basically at the moment. So we're still tracking this as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east this afternoon. Ryan, you're tracking things right now. Are you seeing anything showing up at the moment?
Not really. I was looking at the one, just having some concern when anytime you see the station pop up here. So I was making sure that that one over by Petal wasn't heading our direction. But as you said, it does look like it'll pass to the east of us. Not close enough to be a concern, but close enough to watch, which is what we're going to continue to do. It does look like that area of rotation will pass to the east even of Union, but that will take it towards, let's see if I can get some names here for about the next 30, let's do 30 minutes. Barrontown and Macedonia, which we had already said, but again, I pointed out that one was following a pretty easy to follow path as far as where it looked like it was headed at this exact moment. So let me back up a bit and I can find it again. So basically right there now headed towards Barrontown, and based on its path, it's really following that one road, which initially looked like Old Richton Road. It may seem like it's slightly further north now, more towards Morriston Road, it looks like. So both of those are kind of running the same direction of northeast. So if either of those roads and where they end up sound familiar to you, you're very likely along the path of this, still not confirmed on the ground, but another tornado warning in the area. And go back to Patrick here with an update.
Yeah, Ryan, just got a report in from Rex. Rex, what are you seeing on Weather Service chat?
Petal Fire reports large rotating wall cloud over Petal High School at this time. That just came in about a minute ago.
All right, so this is now a very serious situation for the city of Petal. A large rotating wall cloud is over the Petal High School area at the moment. Very dangerous situation. Now, that was about when did they report that? Just
about 2 minutes ago.
All right, just about 2 minutes ago. So we can see the area of rotation right now. It is near Barringtown, very close to Petal High School. So you need to be in your safe spot right now. But again, Petal Fire is reporting a large wall cloud over Petal High School as this thing moves off towards the north and east towards Macedonia. And eventually this will be getting close to areas around Hartsville Road, Pop Branch Road. You gotta love when that happens sometimes, when you get a new radar scan. By the way, the purple is just the radar having a little trouble with its range, detecting and analyzing stuff. So what I can do is just switch it to another radar site and we can get away from that. But as you can see, the area of rotation is near Barringtown now. But again, Petal Fire Department reporting a large rotating wall cloud near the Petal High School area as this moves off towards the north and east. And this is about to move into the Union community of Jones County. So we're talking Ovette Petal Road, we're talking Ovette Moselle Road, Union, out towards Union Falls, and out towards Orwell Road, and this is all moving off towards the north and east. And Ovette, I noticed you're on the list as well, as everything moves kind of from southwest to northeast. But again, this is just turning into a long day. And Rex, you've been watching other reports coming in. Are you seeing anything else new on your side so far?
They're saying there's a tornado warning in effect until 1:30 far. There's a possible tornado near Sandersville, or 11 miles northeast of Laurel, moving northeast at 45 miles. Well, I've got so many tornado warnings on there. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to keep up with them because, you know, as Ryan just said, normally we could cover one all the way through. If we have two, we can bounce back and forth. But when we have seven, it's really hard to kind of drive home what we're worried about, because we have to. Yes.
Okay, National Weather Service out of Jackson says far northeastern Forest County circulation is very solid, may produce a tornado at any moment heading into South Jones.
Okay, so what I'm going to finish do is showing you this up here near Sandersville, because what did you say, Rex, about the Sandersville storm?
Oh, they said it was located near Sandersville.
Okay, so that was just an update. There are your times of arrival. Heidelberg at 1:24, Peshuta at 1:39, Vossberg at 1:30, and this will continue to move off towards the north and east. Now, I got to go back down to Laurel. Not go south of Laurel. Yeah, that storm is rotating like a top. Oh, my Lord. All right, so we're watching this storm right now. It is near Barringtown, near Macedonia. This is going to go very close to the Union community. So Union, Johnson, Ovette. These three towns, you need to be in your safe spot now. Very tight rotation. And again, the Weather Service just mentioned that the rotation is super tight, and it's likely to produce a tornado at any time. Correct, Rex?
Correct. Anytime. It could drop a tornado at any time.
So
it's moving into southern Jones County.
So this is nothing to mess around with. Very tight rotation. The storm is likely to produce a tornado very soon if it's not doing so at the moment. And it is sitting right now on top of Morriston. And the next town in line would be Ovette. It's crossing Ovette Pedal Road right now. It's crossing Macedonia Road right now. Ovette to Moselle Road would be the next one. And then eventually this will come up towards 29, towards Johnson, towards Crotts, and Ovette. You would be in the path of this storm as well. But again, very tight rotation with this storm that's coming out of Forest County and is now moving into Jones County, and the rotation it's now moved northeast of Pedal. It's over here near Macedonia, but within the next minute or two it'll be wholly into Jones County, and we'll be able to at least give Forest County here in about 10 minutes the all clear, probably for about another 10 minutes, because something else will spin up and then they'll be back under a tornado warning. In fact, we got some areas of weak rotation now out towards southern Lamar County, Baxterville, and Lumberton. And we're still seeing that area of rotation now, which is on top of Foxworth and Columbia, but it's weak. It's probably one of the weaker things that is warned in our viewing area at the moment. Then we got more storms coming out of the parishes of Louisiana. Franklinton, very tight rotation there, more rotation on Bogalusa, and then more storms down towards the south and west. So as you can see, action-packed. I mean, it's the best way to describe it. It's a lot, folks. We got about 4 or 5 storms that we're watching. And again, I'm watching that storm near Heidelberg, and that's starting to rotate as well. And everything continues to move off towards the north and east at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So Heidelberg, Vossberg, Barnett, Peshuta, you all need to be in your safe place between now and 1:40. That's the time of arrivals for all these cities between where it sits now on the Jones County, Jasper County line and the Clark County line up along the interstate. So get into your safe spot now. No reports of any debris with any of these or debris signatures, correct, Rex?
None at this point. We're waiting to find out.
Okay.
Maybe Ryan can turn it over to the coalition.
Ryan, are you seeing anything? We'll toss it over to you for a minute.
Sure, thank you. I am not seeing anything like that. The only debris signature that I've been able to confirm over the last, since this began, really right around lunchtime, is the one that moved out of Jasper and into Newton and Lauderdale County. I believe it's still this right here, which does have some lowered values, but not as sharply as what we were seeing earlier. So looking at all of the ones in the area, we do have a situation with, we're just kind of in between 2 radars. We're getting Slidells and Jacksons, and then depending on how far over I move, we're also getting Mobiles. So we're kind of getting mixed up in there and not quite at the surface. The beam travels upwards as it travels away, so it's going up in the sky. So all this rotation we're seeing is elevated. We've seen some wall clouds. We are fortunate that we haven't been able to confirm any that have touched the ground. And if they have, it was real fast and then lifting right back up, because all of these are truly rotating. That is it is undeniable that every storm that's popping up, every supercell, is quite capable of generating a tornado, given very little with the way the atmosphere is currently primed for that. So looks like we currently still have, which is down from where it was earlier, so a slight improvement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 active tornado warnings in the Pine Belt area as we continue to watch this situation develop. Now, they are starting to move further into the area. The ones that were down in southeastern Louisiana are now moving towards us, starting to push there into the area. So we'll keep watching those, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm watching for all these areas of rotation, seeing if there's anything that we can use to grasp onto to maybe pick one storm out of any of the others as far as one that may be more dangerous. But as we zoom in here, and we've shown you many times, you can see multiple areas of rotation, and that's why we have so much to watch out there right now.
All right, Ryan. Thank you so much, Ryan. And let me turn off my mic. Let me turn it on here. All right, microphone. It's on. Weather Service is now reporting a debris signature with the storm near Macedonia. Correct, Rex?
I think so.
Yeah.
There it is.
So we got
tornado observed.
North Pumping Station
Observed for
Road.
Jones till 2:15. A confirmed tornado was located near Ovette, or 8 miles southeast of Ellisville, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. We can probably get that on the sky cam.
Yeah. Hannah's looking at it. It might be a long way because that is that Skycam is coming from. Cannot think at the moment. It's coming from Ellisville. But basically this, we now have a tornado on the ground near Union. This is going to be in southern, between Union and Runnelstown. You need to be in your safe spot now because we do now have that tornado on the ground. We do see that debris signature here between Union and Runnelstown. There it is, a very obvious debris signature with this storm. And this is going to be crossing 29 here within the next 5 minutes. So basically, if you live south of Ellisville on 29, you got to be in your safe spot. We have a tornado on the ground with this storm, and this is moving off towards the northeast. Eventually, this will be heading towards Ovette, and if it can hold together or stay on the ground long enough, it could cross 15. So basically, the areas that get really hit hard this morning, you got to get back into a safe spot somewhere. This is going to go east of the TV station, so I'm not worried about us here, but Union, Ovette, Johnson, you need to be in your safe spots now. We now have a confirmed tornado on the ground with this storm. The tornado right now basically at Stained Glass Lane, Ovette Petal Road, Oldwell Road, our Blackwell Road, Ovette to Moselle Road, and this will be coming close to Beach Cemetery Road and Highway 29. So basically, we're getting pretty close to the Johnson community, but it is just to the north and towards the east. So basically, the rotation right now is sitting near Ovette, Petal Road, and Kirkland Road. There at the Forest Perry, Jones County, kind of the lines where all three counties meet up. And this is moving off towards the north and east, but we are seeing a considerable debris signature with this storm. So we now have a tornado confirmed to be on the ground with this storm out here near the areas just to the south and towards the east. So the rotation, it is producing, and we now have our first tornado on the ground here in the viewing area. In fact, one thing I want to do, I want to flip this over to analyst because I want to show you, we can clean it up just a little bit. So the debris signature with this storm, it's been brief. So it looks like it briefly touched down because we just got a new scan and it's lifted. So it looks like it touched down just north of Macedonia. And then as it's moved into Jones County, it looks like it's lifting. But I would still treat this as a tornado on the ground. It appears we have had a debris signature. And again, this is going to be areas for the newsroom near Macedonia Road. So if we hear of any reports out around Macedonia Road, out here towards Morristown Road, that's the area where apparently there was a brief tornado touchdown about a minute ago. The debris signature is not as strong as it was about 2 scans ago, which is about 3 to 5 minutes. But I don't want to treat this as it's over. The way today's going, we could see cyclical supercells forming. So basically, they go in a cycle, they produce, they weaken. they regroup, produce again, weaken, regroup. That's, I think, how things are going to pan out for today. And again, a lot of rotation with everything. But again, the rotation very tight with this storm here near the Ovette community. As you can see, that green bulb, that green kind of blob, that right there is the rotation that we are currently tracking with this storm. I'm going to move it up here to the northwest because we are still watching two other storms. One of them is near Stringer. So Stringer, you need to be in your safe spot now. A decent area of rotation, about 2 or 3 miles southwest of you. We're watching some weaker rotation over here towards Heidelberg. This is the one that we saw earlier with that rotating wall cloud as it moved out of Laurel. Not as strong as it was, say, about 20 minutes ago. But these are only 3 of the storms that we're tracking. We got a couple of more out here. So we got another one on the west side of Prentice, and it has some very strong rotation with it showing up right now. Let me pull it up on velocity mode and let me get it to correlate. There it is. Very strong rotation with the storm on the west side of Prentice, and I would not be surprised if that thing is not on the ground. I mean, it's not, but it's very strong. I will say that. Very strong rotation near Prentice on the west side of town. That's moving northeast, so areas that eventually that'll be coming up towards Clem. You need to be in your safe spot. We'll go back down. Now, another area of rotation near the Improved community. It's weaker than it was about 20 minutes ago, but we're still watching it as it sits here, and this will be moving off towards the north and east. Eventually, the Weather Service will have to decide, is this strong enough to continue on into Lamar County, and I think Rex has a little bit of information.
Yeah, they have a storm spotter about 4 miles west-southwest of Purvis. He's saying very low-hanging wall cloud moving northeast.
All right, so we got some areas of, so we got some rotation there. Doppler on our end is showing very weak rotation, but at least it's showing up out here towards the Purvis area. It's very weak rotation, but it is a sign that the cell is currently kind of in an infancy stage. It's rotating nonetheless, and as I've said earlier today, everything that has popped up, everything is spinning. Showers, thunderstorms, infant thunderstorms, mature thunderstorms, everything that is out there is spinning at the moment. It's just whether it's spinning enough for it to be deemed a threat and need a tornado warning. That is just the big thing. But look at this. We have we have 7 tornado warnings basically from Meridian down towards to the south and west of Hattiesburg. And I would say in 6 of those are in our viewing area right now. So we're tracking 6 different tornado warning cells, and we got other cells that are not even in our area just yet that have been moving through the Pine Belt. And this is going to be a long day for all of us here.
Probably our next one will be the one coming out of Jefferson Davis County. It's just over Silver Creek, headed into Jefferson Davis County. A very good wall cloud associated with that one.
All right, so that was the one I was just talking about right here to the west of Prentice. And as you can see, very strong rotation. Our rotation product just went yellow. That means it's got very strong, very tight rotation. And it could produce a tornado at any minute on the west, or now on the northwest side of Prentice. So it's just beyond the bypass. You see that blue line there? That's the bypass that goes around Prentice for 84. But it's just on the northwest side of that. But if you live in Prentice, you need to be in your safe spot now, especially if you live north of 84. At any point, you need to be in your safe spot because this is a very tight area of rotation, and it is continuing to move off towards the north and towards the east. Again, I'm not seeing any signs of debris with it. That's a little bit of good news, but the rotation is certainly there. This is a very strong area of rotation at the moment, and this is sitting, again, near the Prentice area. Other areas that we're still watching would be, as I come back over to my computer, let me go ahead and pull it up here. Other areas of rotation that we're currently watching, again, the area of rotation near Jones College, just to the south and east of Jones College, near Johnson, towards the Ovette area. And I'm going to put this back over to the velocity mode. I want to see how tight that rotation is. The rotation is tight, not as tight as it was, say, 20 minutes ago. And I don't necessarily think that we have a tornado still on the ground with this storm, but it definitely needs to be treated as such because this is a very dangerous situation as this storm continues to move off from the southwest to the northeast. And it sounds like we got some new information coming in.
Yeah, it's saying here this media guy positioning to intercept new tornado on 84 northeast of Laurel.
What does he mean by new tornado?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. All right, so we're still watching that at the moment. Ryan, you got things pulled up. What are you seeing on your side of it?
I'm just looking through all the velocity here, and when he said northeast of Laurel, I just was looking to see if I could find out what that was. And all I'm really seeing is the same little areas popping up there. There's an area of rotation near Vosburg, another behind it near Heidelberg. Both of those tend to be a little bit broader than the ones we're seeing, especially the one that is confirmed there, that's still passing just to the southeast of Johnson, northwest of Ovette, and almost due east of Union, seemingly headed almost up 15 towards Tucker's Crossing and Myrick there. So definitely still, that is the only one that is confirmed on the ground. All the others still at least elevated, but concerning and still moving through these areas as new warnings just keep popping up. It looks like they just dropped one off that was concerning me, because it's anytime it's close to the station, you know, we got to watch that a little closely. So the closest and most concerning right now is that one over just to the east of Johnson there. And if you give me a second, I'll see if it'll give me some interesting areas in the path of this for the next, let's say, 35 minutes. And there we go. We're looking at Kratz at 138, Antioch at 151. So here within the next 7 minutes, town of Kratz, if you live in that area, I would highly recommend getting into that safe spot, getting everything you need, and at least getting it there so that you don't need to look for it. You don't need to think. You can just react when it moves through. Also, Antioch a little bit later. Of course, that's getting a good 20 minutes away, so it would have to hold together and be on the ground in the first place to be concerning for that. But it's certainly something we're just going to keep looking at, because, as we've said, it's better to just go ahead and pretend, or at least assume, that everything that's popping up is on the ground, because you don't want to assume that it isn't and be wrong about that, because that can really cause some quick problems for you. So right now, the only one, as we said, confirmed on the ground is that one that's headed towards Kratz within at least the next 7 to 8 minutes or so. All the other ones are still elevated, and thankfully there are fewer of them than there were about 45 minutes ago. So that doesn't mean anything in terms of things are slowing down, but it is a good trend, one that I'm happy to see going on right now as we continue to watch these move through. So we're down to, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas, and one of those is just about to push towards Wayne County and out of the, towards Quitman and out of the area north of Wayne County there. So quite a bit going on. Finally starting to wind down a bit, but that does not mean to let your foot off the gas just yet.
Yeah, and Ryan, you use that term, starting to wind down a bit, and I'm going to say, folks, we're using it very relative, because we had, I would say, 10, 11 tornado warnings at the same time, and now that we're down to 6, it seems much more manageable, at least to me, that we can at least cover this. But I will say, I'm starting to notice now, we're starting to see some rotation tightening up near Oklahoma. So I'm worried about this coming into the south side of Hattiesburg. But you can see it here near Oklahoma, Old Highway 11, right near Lewis Lights, very close to it at least. Oklahoma School Road, and this again will be moving northeast towards the Richburg area. Rex, is the Weather Service talking about it?
They're not mentioning that yet, but there's some going downstream for that warning in Jasper for that cell north of Stringer. I guess they're going to continue that warning up that way.
All right, so
they're using a code. I don't know exactly what it means. This person is asking any concern with the cell just southwest of Hattiesburg.
All right. So we're still watching that. Yeah. So we're still watching this storm as it moves off towards the north and east. This is near Oklahoma, coming up towards Richburg, Old 11, and looks like we just got a new tornado warning that has just been issued.
Jasper, Lauderdale, and Newton.
All right, so that's going to be Jasper, Lauderdale, and Newton. All right, so this is going to be for that cell that is currently near the Bay Springs area. It just left Taylorsville.
Near Stringer, too.
All right, near Stringer.
And this, northeast at 45.
And this goes until 2:30 this afternoon, again, moving northeast at 45. Out of all the stuff that we've been watching today, this is probably one of the more ragged areas of rotation that I've seen in the last about an hour or two. And as you can see, I want to redraw that. I think there's a little bug in the software because I would like to see all the little pop-ups up there. All right, there we go. 139. That'll be when it comes into Lake Como. Acme by 141. Gridley by 151. Paulding at 153. Penalty at 2 o'clock. And Rose Hill at 2:03 Central Time. We're still watching this area of rotation. It is on the southwest side, or southeast side, excuse me, of Bay Springs, near 15 and 528 right now. So it's kind of between Bay Springs and Stringer, and it'll be crossing 520 here within the next couple of minutes. It'll be crossing near the community of Acme. And again, that tornado warning is in effect until 2:30 this afternoon. The rotation out here towards Johnson is really starting to tighten up once again this afternoon. Hannah, if you're looking on the sky cam, you may just have to look east. And I think that's going to be looking across the football field, I want to say. So it would be near either east or listed as home on there. But very tight rotation, Rex.
They're not concerned, they're answering your question, they're not concerned about that particular deal near southwest of Hattiesburg at this time right now.
At this time, yeah. At this time right now. All right, now we got a new tornado warning that's coming into effect for Wayne County. This is going to be for that storm that we're tracking right now. But now Mobile, who has jurisdiction over Wayne County, has had to issue that tornado warning. So now Wayne County, basically this is going to be west of Waynesboro, Hiwanee, Ucutta, Whistler, Stringford, Litzni, all under this tornado warning until 2:15. Again, radar indicated rotation with this storm, and the rotation that we're tracking is still in Jones County, but it is definitely some strong rotation. And again, this is moving off towards the north and east, so it's about 11 miles from Highway 84, and I think it's going to cross 84 near the Jones-Wayne County line. And as we put a path on this, I want to show you, this is going to stay just to the east of Laurel. And I just saw a new update come out. All right, so Myrick by 145, Litzni at 153, 157 at Whistler, Ucutta at 201. So we're still tracking this strong area of rotation. And Rex, did they just update it?
Yeah, they did. It's the tornado, a possible tornado was located 5 miles southeast of Tucker's Crossing, 10 miles southeast of Laurel, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. That's the ongoing tornado warning for that for Wayne County.
Okay, and by the way, this right here is this is southeast of Laurel. This is out near Myrick and out towards the Mill Creek area. Of course, every time we talk about it, I always say the fire department, M&M, Myrick and Mill Creek. But this is the part of Jones County that we're talking about. Lower Myrick Road, Freedom Road, Antioch Road, Wildlife Lake Road, County Road 201, Widow Landrum Road out here. This is where the rotation is now. It's just east of 15, about 3 to 5 miles southeast of Tucker's Crossing, but this is heading directly towards Myrick and pretty close to the Stringford communities, and it will cross Myrick-Stringford Road pretty soon. I think it's going to do so here within the next 10 minutes, and then it'll be crossing 84 very soon.
Glenn Moore, Emergency Management, he's reporting structural damage to houses on Pop Runnels Road and 900 block of Macedonia Road in Petal.
Okay, so we're now getting reports of damage from that apparent touchdown.
And that's a very reliable source.
Yeah, that was from Glenn Moore, the EMA director of Forest County. All right, and you said that is where? Pop Runnels Road?
Pops Runnels Road and 900 block of Macedonia Road in Petal.
Okay, so newsroom, hear me out. On Pops Runnels Road and Macedonia Road, and you know what? That matches up perfectly with that little area of debris that we saw out here earlier. So that was about 1:20 that happened, but there's the debris signature from when that happened. Again, this is earlier, but we're now getting reports of damage, Pop Runnels Road and Macedonia Road. And what was the words he used to describe it?
Structural damage to houses on Pop Runnels Road and the 900 block of Macedonia Road in Petal.
Okay, and that was caused by the storm that is in eastern Jones County now at the moment. All right, so we have a lot of tornado warnings. We're still tracking them right now. I want to go back over here to Jeff Davis County. Again, this is areas over here near Clem that we're watching. That tornado warning still remains in effect. The rotation with it not as strong as it was, say, a little bit about 20 minutes ago, but the rotation right now about 2 miles west of Clem. It's near White Sands Church Road and Clem Road, so it's out here just to the west. The Weather Service will have to make a decision soon on whether they're going to issue anything for Northwest Covington and for Simpson County, because this is about to cross out of Jeff Davis County here in the next, I would say the next 10 minutes. So if they don't issue something soon, that would give me an indication of what their thinking is with this. But it's still rotating. We're still watching it. Mount Olive, you need to still be getting ready to get into your safe spot nonetheless. The rotation that we had near Bay Springs, much weaker, and it's starting to weaken now. And then the other strong rotation out here towards Pashuta, very tight, right there on the intersection of 18 and Highway 11. This is now in Clark County, so we're passing this to our sister station WTOK in Meridian. This is their, Clark County is their county, and they are covering this as well. So because that is moving out of our viewing area, we're going to focus more on these that are staying closer to the Hattiesburg area and towards Laurel. And that'll give us a little bit of chance to breathe here, because Lord knows we've had about 17 tornado warnings at one time, and I've never struggled in my life so hard to at least mention them. Not the least just show it, just to mention them, because we've just had so much. Now, Ryan, if you see anything, you just holler and let me know.
Well, the only thing I was going to say, I saw about 5 minutes ago they dropped the confirmed off of that storm that was the one that went just past Union. While you were looking at it, I wouldn't say that means that it necessarily lifted up, because that was right around the time that you were mentioning it was switching hands between offices. So I don't know if maybe that means that Mobile has to confirm it, or they would just continue that through. But again, it's just a good example of why it's always good to just assume that any warning is an actual tornado on the ground and to treat it as such.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. It doesn't. These things are touching down very quickly, and this one I think touched down, was on the ground for maybe a couple of minutes, and then that was over. It was a very quick kind of spin up. Rex, you see
I don't have it, but they have canceled the tornado warning for Marion County.
Okay, that's good. So they have canceled that tornado warning for Marion County. We're still watching the one out here now to the south and east of the city of Laurel, but this is coming close to Myrick and out towards Stringford. And again, Myrick to Stringford Road, you need to be getting into your safe spot now. Lower Myrick Road, Mill Creek Road, the Mill Creek, Myrick, M&M area over here east of Laurel. Powers, you should be fine if you live near the high school, but any further east, you need to be in your safe spot. Really, I'm more worried about 84 near the county line. I think this area of rotation is going to cross very close to the Jones-Wayne County line. And in fact, there's the area of rotation now, about a mile south of Myrick. And of course, there's that little gas station with a grocery store. And then you go about a mile or so, and that's where the area of rotation is. So this will be coming up close to the 84 area. And also Whistler is where Beat 4 Elementary is, out there in into Wayne County. Got some loud thunder here at the TV station. That's associated with the cell that we're currently tracking, and this continues to move off towards the north and east. One thing I want to do now, we've been talking about every little thing so far. Let's kind of give you a regroup of what's happening right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off the tornado watch, and I'm going to show you everything that's happening now. So we have a line of a broken area of multiple supercells that have fired up here across the Pine Belt. We got multiple storms here. We got three storms that are tornado warned, basically around Laurel and off towards the north and east. We got another area of rotation that was tornado warned in Jeff Davis County. One big cell over Hattiesburg. It has rotation, but it's not strong enough to credit warranting at the moment, according to the Weather Service. And then more cells coming out of Louisiana. All this has to move through the area this afternoon. And as it does so, we're going to have to watch for the possibility of rotation. And as I showed you earlier, at one point we had 17 areas of rotation that was on radar. Basically every shower, every little thing was rotating, and it's still the case in many parts of the Pine Belt. I think that this area of rotation near Jeff Davis County, near Clem, I think it looks really weak to me, and the fact that it's on the edge of the county and they have not extended northeast is a little bit of good news that this is going to be weakening. We're still watching an area of rotation over here on the south side of Hattiesburg at the moment. We're watching another area of rotation near Melba. It's weak rotation. The strongest one right now is out here. All right, now we got it. There it is. They are now they have now tornado warned the city of Hattiesburg. So if you are into the city of Hattiesburg, you need to go ahead and be into your safe spot right now. This area of rotation is right on top of the Cloverleaf. So it's right by Comcast out there off Lincoln Road, right near the Cloverleaf Mall. Basically, this is where the area of rotation is sitting. So you need to be in your safe spot right now out at Forest General Hospital. That is where the area of rotation is currently. One thing I'm going to do, I want to pull this up. I want to look at our Skycam out at USM to see if we can see anything out there at the moment. It's pulling up. It is raining hard. Just looking from that image, I'm not sure that we would be able to see anything whatsoever. But definitely a lot of heavy rain falling there. Let's go to our Skycam out at Petro Nissan. And it's not raining as hard there. But I'm not seeing anything suspect in there. But again, it would be hard to see anything. Hannah, if you could just pan that just to the east, just a little bit. Just slowly pan it off towards the east. And just keep going. Keep going until you see the roof, Petro Nissan. And there we go. All right, so this is the area we're looking at. And yeah, it's going to be hard to see. This is whatever it is. It
could be rain wrapped.
It's going to. That's what I was about to say, Rex. It's going to be rain wrapped. Well, maybe not. That's. Keep going.
I don't know though.
Keep going. What's that? Stop. She stopped as soon as I said it, and the camera continued on.
By the way, that is a tornado warning until 2:45 for Forest, Jones, and Lamar County.
Okay.
Just want to get the time in there.
Right. What is that, Hannah? That is moving. That's moving very fast. Whatever that is.
I can't even.
And I'm looking at it on the monitor here.
I can't even tell.
I mean, is that a funnel cloud?
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
it might be.
So what you're looking at, folks, basically below the part that says rain 2400s, we're looking, there was a brief lowering there, and it's hard to see. Everything is moving very fast at the moment.
I wish
Pull
we
up
had
the USM
the wipes
camera while
on
you're
this
on there.
thing. We could wipe it. That was the old cameras.
All right. Huh? Not on this camera. We don't have a wiper. I'm looking. I don't see anything at the exact.
Keep following it?
Yeah, keep following it. Keep following it.
I'll try.
All right, just kind of slowly bump
You
it.
can clearly see the clouds.
Because what I'm seeing down here is some areas of scud, and these are scud. They're moving with it. It's giving the false impression that there may be something there, because it's not connecting.
I see it.
Yeah, you can see that area right there. It's not spinning, so that lets me know it's scud. But we're definitely in the area. If this thing was producing, it's going to be right there.
If we had some coming in from this direction, and that could be a.
Yeah.
We don't see that.
I don't see it right now. It's just, I mean, in the area that we would be needing to look at was, I think, a little bit further beyond. It would be beyond that furthest horizon, because that's where the rotation was. But that was definitely, we're definitely in it. And look, if you look, you can see the sky turning that little tinge of green. As well. So we about maxed out from where the rotation should be. It is rain wrapped. Whatever it is rain wrapped. So I'm not definitely seeing it at the moment. But Hannah, just keep watching it. I'm gonna go back to velocity with this, because the area of rotation now is now sitting on top of Hattiesburg High School. So basically Midtown Hattiesburg area. And yeah, that would have been a good distance away. It's now about to cross over USM. It's crossing. It's now north and east of USM. It's crossing over near Glendale Avenue. So the old 42 bypass near Glendale Avenue. That's where the rotation is crossing. It's about to cross into Glendale at the moment, and this will be eventually coming into Petal very soon. This will be moving into the Leakesville area as well. Looking at correlation coefficient, I'm not seeing any signs that this is on the ground, but we're still watching this very carefully. But Petal and the north side of Hattiesburg, you need to remain in your safe spot for the next 5 to 10 minutes. In fact, I'm going to put a little path cast on this, because this is moving very quickly here across the area. I want to include Petal in it. Petal at 152, Leeville at 155, Barrontown at 157 this afternoon. So we're still watching things very carefully out there this afternoon. It is a long day, but the rain is. This is where the area of rotation is at the moment. It is very rain wrapped, so I'm not necessarily sure that we would have even seen it if we could, because it's starting to kind of wrap up with rain. So where the rotation is right here at the River Fort, where the Inn is in Main Street. That's where the rotation is. But if you look at it on radar, very rain wrapped in that area, so you're not going to be able to see it this time around, and we're not going to be able to get a good view of it if it is doing anything, just because of all the rain. Now, earlier today we did have some sails that were trying their best to spin up. We saw 2 of them up near the city of Laurel. They never produced anything, but still, it's worth monitoring here. And I noticed they just updated that tornado warning for force in Jones County. Rex, what are they saying?
Let me go back to Jackson, Mike.
All right. So he's looking up the Weather Service Jackson chat.
Yeah, it's still in effect until 2:45. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near East Abuchi, which is near us, or near Petal, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour.
All right, so that's what they're tracking there, and in fact, like I said, it's right now it's closer. Good, man. All right, it is closer to Glendale and Petal than it is East Abuchi right now, because I can zoom into East Abuchi.
Oh, yeah.
You can see clearly it is much closer to Petal, and it is moving off towards the north and east. So this should bypass us to the station now. It's right near what the railroad calls Dragon. That's where all the propane tanks for the Dixie pipeline are. That's where all those the rail yard and all those storage facilities are. That's where this area of rotation is sitting at right now. I need to move off towards the north and east, because this area of rotation just looks a lot stronger to me over here towards Stringford at the moment, and it is crossing now 84, just like I said it would, just near the county line. So it's near Stringford Pleasant Grove Road, and that's where it's sitting at right now. So Whistler, Beat 4 Elementary, you got to be in your safe spot if you're near that area right now. This is moving northeast, so this will be coming up towards areas right around Pleasant Grove, Adair Road, Leonard Street, Ucutta Road. You all got to be in your safe spots right now. The rotation is crossing 84. Very strong rotation at that. And Ryan, do you see anything at the moment on your side?
I have a path up for that system that just passed over USM. I actually had a student at USM message me on social media and say he was basically right on top of him and really showing out. Wasn't able to get much on the camera just because it was so dark and so rainy and windy, but weren't able to verify anything. It's now north of that area, but as it continues to push towards the north, it's going to encounter quite a few populated areas like Leeville here at just 159, which is here in just a couple of minutes. Morriston there at 208, Union at 214, Benson and Johnson right before and right around 225. Jones College, of course, that a big one with many students possibly in the area there. So hopefully all of those areas, that's a good still 30 minutes away. But if this one was to hold together, then everyone in that path all the way up to Ellisville would need to be in those safe spaces, particularly that Jones College there.
Yeah, Ryan, and that's a good point. You know, we do have other areas that we were watching. This is still in the city of Hattiesburg, well, coming into Glendale now, but still, this will be coming into Jones County. And Hannah just pointed out to me one thing, and it was the cell that you were watching was down near Lumberton, correct? Yeah, so we're seeing some strong rotation with this storm down near Lumberton at the moment. I'm going to pull it up from the Jackson radar site because it definitely is rotating pretty tightly. No word from Weather Service chat yet. Rex, are they saying anything?
Yeah, they're talking about the one in Wayne County. Circulation has intensified as it crossed Jones County into Wayne County, moving over Highway 84 very soon, could produce a tornado at any moment.
All right, we'll go up to that one in a second. So go to the Jackson chat room if you can, Rex. And,
okay, yeah.
See, what about the storm near Lumberton? That looks like it's on 13 between Lumberton and Baxterville.
They haven't mentioned that one yet.
All right, they haven't mentioned that. All right, so we're gonna have to we're going to have to use the no news is good news comment here with this one. But the one near Whistler definitely showing out right now. Very tight rotation within this storm. Everything kind of moving from southwest to northeast. I'm looking at to see if we got any debris signatures with it. I'm not seeing anything at the moment, but it's very tight rotation. And again, it's sitting on top of Whistler right now. So basically, this will be coming in towards Ukiah very soon. It'll come into areas around Hiawassee if it holds together at 2 o'clock, 2:12. 2:14 for Shibuda, and Hale, which is in Clark County, at 2:20. But I want it to include Ukiah, so I'm going to force it to include Ukiah if it was going on that road. 2:04. So that's the time frame that we're looking at here as well. All right, so all right, I'm looking at that. All right, so we had a possible funnel near Hattiesburg High School with this storm about 5 minutes ago. And what was the other note? Hold it back up. And then we had reported something near Palmer's Crossing. Okay, all right.
I think they got video of that.
Huh?
I think they got video of that.
The control.
Alan in the newsroom.
Okay.
He just posted something.
Okay. Well, whenever they get it, if they have it, we'll show it. But
I'm looking at it right now.
We're still tracking very intense rotation with this storm on the areas north of Petal. So basically, if you live near Leeville, if you live near Leeville Road, if you live here near Old Richton Road, Barringtown, Amos Road, Linray Road, Leeville Road, all of these areas are tracking very. We're seeing very large rotation with this storm, and yeah, we're getting some video in, and Alan, if you do get that, if you can get it,
if we can use it,
yeah, let's go ahead and check that out, Thomas or Alan. All right, so this is some of the clouds that are coming in from. This is from earlier when the storm was most likely producing the tornado near Macedonia. This is with the clouds that are coming in. And as you can see, very low-hanging wall clouds there. That's right here is on the east side of Petal. And you can see the shield of precipitation with that as well. Now, Alan has different video of what appears to be. All right, go ahead and come on back to me, Thomas. Now, Alan has something different that we were looking at. Apparently a picture. I don't know if it was from a viewer or what, but if he could get that into master control, we can show that as well. But until then, I want to keep everybody updated. Linray Road out here towards Courtney Creek Road, Morriston Road, Hartsville Road. And again, this is going to be very close to areas that were just hit hard, maybe about a mile or two west. The rotation that we had that touched down earlier was at Pop Reynolds Road in Macedonia, and this one is getting very close to Linray Road out here near Courtney Creek Road and Augusta Road as well. And everything moving off basically to the north and towards the east. Now, are you seeing anything on Weather Service chat, Rick?
Yeah, this media guy, he says pursuing northward in Wayne County, a large funnel cloud north of 84 with rapid rotation.
All right, so
we can't forget about Wayne County.
Yeah, I'm about to move over there now because, that storm is rapid. Yeah, it's spinning like a top. It is spinning like a top. And again, that's out in Wayne County. I'm not sure that we would even be able to see this from our Skycam in Waynesboro. I mean, we may just turn it back off towards the north and west, Hannah.
No, we might do it.
That's about as far as we're going to be able to turn it. And I think that's looking more northwest than anything. But just keep a close eye on that. We're looking at the Skycam from Circle C Tractor in Waynesboro at the moment. Yes, this storm has really wrapped up considerably over the last 10 to 15 minutes. Now, it is north of 84, very large road. You said it was rapidly rotating, correct?
Yeah.
Rapidly rotating wall cloud, or is it a funnel cloud?
He said funnel cloud.
All right, so rapidly rotating.
Large funnel cloud.
Large funnel cloud in Wayne County. This is going to be out here in areas around Jim Browley Road, Jack Fleming Road, Section 24, Ukiah Road, Evergreen Road, Leonard Street Road, Shibuda Ukiah Road, Beat 4 Shibuda Road, Pew Road. All of these areas, this is where very tight rotation. We got reports of a funnel cloud in this area, and a tornado could drop at any minute. This is a very tight rotation. You need to be in your safe spot now. So again, very tight rotation on top of basically between the community of Ucutta and Highway 84. This is again in western Wayne County. So Waynesboro, this is going to stay away from you, but still you need to treat this with respect, because if you live out in Wayne County, Ucutta, Hiwanee, Shibuda, this is coming directly towards you. And again, we got some very tight rotation with this storm as it sits there at the moment, and everything again continues to move off towards the north and towards the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. And anything new coming out of the Mobile chat room, Rex?
No, but Alan just out of the newsroom said we can use the video now or something like that. Let me go back to the
Okay, no, that's internal stuff, so I'm not going to worry about that now. We'll be able to definitely show you the videos.
It's on burst.
Okay, I still can't get to it, so they got to put it in master control so we can get to it. All right, so we're still watching that area of rotation currently out here in northwestern Wayne County. Again, we're watching this rotation, very strong rotation at that. In fact, let me do this. I want to flip this over to GR, and that way we can kind of get an in-depth look at it. Very strong rotation. You see we're starting to get into that yellow here on the rotation product. That's a very tight rotation. So this storm, as the spotter is reporting a funnel cloud with it. It is between Ucutta and Whistler near the Beat 4 community, so you need to be in your safe spot now if you're out there. And this will be heading eventually towards Hiwanee, and it'll be crossing over these roads out here as well very soon. Definitely a very ominous appearance on radar, and it's all right, so we got a new update here coming out. So let me click on this, let it load up for a second.
Which side are you in, Mobile or Jackson?
I'm not. I'm in it's for Mobile. All right,
okay.
This is popping up at Wayne County at 2:15. All right, so what are they saying with that rotation, Rex?
A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 9 miles northeast of Mill Creek, or 11 miles northwest of Waynesboro, moving northeast at 40. That's all they're telling me right now.
Okay. So apparently it's still radar indicated. And Ryan,
It is radar indicated.
Are you seeing anything on your end, Ryan?
Not other than the areas we've been watching, the ones with the strong rotation. Seeing a lot of hail in those areas as well. So with it not being as tight as they have been, it's possible we're seeing those strong updrafts there. So still a dangerous situation, and obviously you don't want hail, but so far we've seen that these are really struggling to reach the ground, though I have been reaching out to a couple of viewers who have reached out to me, and if you're in the Ruston area, saying that heavy rain and windy and quite dark outside, and the person I'm talking to says their ears popped while in their safe zone, which means their pressure is changing rapidly. So without any evidence to back it up, I don't know quite what that means, but that is generally an indicator that you could have a strong thunderstorm or at least a tornado in the area. And we know that there's rotation. We've heard that there's funnel clouds, and it doesn't take much for one to just reach down for a moment just to reach back up. And if your home or your safe zone happens to be under that tornado when it touches down for that moment, then it doesn't matter how many more tornadoes we see or how dangerous they could be, because that's all that matters to you, and your safety matters to us. So that's what we're talking about. Stay in those safe zones, especially if you're starting to feel things like that. If you feel your situation changing, what that viewer said to me is exactly what we're talking about being weather aware. It's not just a buzzword that we like to use. It's very important to us to communicate that message, because it's really up to you. Sometimes when we've got 17 tornado warnings, it really comes down to those small scale features in your community that may give you the hint that safe zone is where you need to be, if it's not something that we've already been saying. So that's pretty much what I just wanted to keep focusing on. We're still watching these rotating areas. So far, none confirmed on the ground at this exact moment, but watching the hail, watching the strong winds, and seeing these reports from viewers, it's still quite dangerous out there.
Yeah, it really is, Ryan. And today is, we were worried about this, and then the Weather Service upgraded us back to a level 4 high threat of severe weather, and we're still tracking things at the moment. And again, we got two areas that I'm more concerned about. If we could come back over to camera 8, please, when y'all get a second in the control room. Thank y'all, whenever y'all can. There we go. All right, so we're still tracking 2 areas at the moment. So I'm looking at one. Right now, the first area is near Union. This will be getting close to Johnson and Ovette. That'll be coming up to Johnson at 214, Krotz at 218, and Linhan by 219 right now. And then that'll be continuing to move off towards the north and east. And then we have a second. The area that we're watching is over here near Hawani and Shibuda. Those will be getting there by between now and about 2:20. And Rex, I just saw you pull up that image.
Yeah, that was over the mall in Laurel.
Okay, so that was from the storms that we were tracking when we first started everything here across.
And it looked
area.
very tornadic.
I have a feeling that we may have had a couple of brief touchdowns throughout the day outside of the one that we do know about that happened near Macedonia. I'm watching now some new areas of rotation. These are weak, but they're still there nonetheless. One of them is out here towards the Purvis area, and we're going to have to see what the Weather Service decides to do with that. Again, this is an area of rotation that we're watching. I'm not seeing anything on here just yet that says they are overly concerned about it. Rex, have they said anything about it so far?
Well, they've canceled the tornado warning for Forest County. That just happened.
Okay.
They are still tornadoes indicated by radar for Jones County. That goes into 245. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Ellisville, moving northeast at 45.
Okay. So that's where they're tracking that one. So they're continuing it. But they did remove Forest County out there. And I just saw something. That was Glenmore. All right, never mind. When you on a days like this, it's hard because you see a lot of reports and you get other people who are worried about stuff as well. So that was what was going on there. Again, we're watching that rotation near the Purvis area, but again, the tornado warning until 2:45 for this storm near Union, and this is the one that just came out of Forest County earlier. Again, this is not as tight rotation as we've seen with some of the other storms. We're still watching everything at the moment, but we're Union out towards Johnson. This tornado warning continues, but again, the rotation with this is starting to dramatically weaken compared to where it was about 10 to 15 minutes ago.
Glenn Moore, emergency management guy, he is asking the Weather Service any concern about the storm west of Purvis, the one you're watching.
Yeah.
So,
have they said anything? Have they responded back to him yet?
Let me see.
I don't think they.
No.
No? Okay.
No, not yet.
Not yet. So what we're talking about here, because we have 5,000 warnings, it seems like, but or if we got a warning, we got 3 more areas of rotation than we have warnings right now. So we're having to watch everything. So we're watching this new area of rotation down here around Purvis. It's just on the northwest side of town near 589. And again, there's no warning officially in effect with this area of rotation, but it is rotating, and it's got some stronger rotation to me than some of the other stuff that we've been looking for. So the Weather Service is watching it at the moment.
Very closely. They're getting some contamination with it.
Okay, so that might be explaining a little bit. You said that, is that what they're saying?
He said, Glenn, we're getting some contamination with that one, but we're watching it closely.
Okay, so there is a little bit of radar contamination. That's fine. And that would explain it having a little bit of a brighter appearance than it probably should have. But it is near Purvis, near 589. If this holds together or it intensifies, it'll come right up 11, right into the south side of Hattiesburg. So we're going to watch that one very carefully, of course. And then we got some more rotation, areas of rotation out here towards the south and towards the west. One of them's over here towards the Sandy Hook area. Some weak rotation, but it's broad and it's there. And then we have some other areas of rotation, although not as much as we saw earlier this afternoon. Really the biggest area of concern that I have right now, out of all the areas of rotation that I'm currently looking at, it's the one over here near Yucata and the one near Haiwani. And I want to zoom back in on that right now. And we'll take this down back to street level. This is on the north side, again, the north side of Wayne County. And we're going to turn on some of the roads here. So basically, basically you can see Shibuya, Yokota Road, Waynesboro, Shibuya Road, and this is again on the very north side of Wayne County. This is about to cross into Clark County, but Hiwanee, you still need to be in your safe spot right now, and this will be crossing 45 near the community of Shibuya here in about 5 or 10 minutes. But very strong areas of rotation with this, but I'm not seeing any signs that this is on the ground at the moment.
Well, actually, we just got something about that. A storm chaser is reporting a tornado southwest of Shibuya.
Okay, so they are reporting a tornado?
Yeah, a storm chaser is reporting a tornado southwest of Shibuya within the last 5 minutes. Data not great. We'll provide visual evidence when able.
Okay, so apparently we do have a tornado on the ground with this storm. So it doesn't surprise me based on its appearance in terms of how strong it is rotation. That bright blue and that bright red together, that's some very strong rotation. But again, Storm Spotter reporting a tornado on the ground near Shibuya with this storm within the last 5 minutes. So you need to treat this storm with care, and you need to be in that safe spot now. Basically, Waller Ridge Road, Waynesboro to Shibuya Road, Posted Road, and areas out here. Again, this is very rural Wayne County, but again, this is about to move towards the community of Shibuya.
It looks like that one has upwards of about a half to possibly 3/4 of an inch size hail associated with it as well, that Shibuya storm.
Yeah.
We got some power outages reported in
People are reporting power outages in Purvis.
Okay, so we're starting to get some reports of power outages out in Purvis right now. Are they saying anything, Hannah?
No, I'm going to keep looking, but I just keep seeing power outages in Purvis.
Okay, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But the tornado on the ground, the only thing that we have confirmed right now is the tornado on the ground. And I see our news director, Emily, she is handing me a sticky note. So we got video around Cartersville Road of around 120 of the rotating clouds. Do we have that loaded up? Let's take a look at that real fast. TMP, if y'all can. Apparently it's the video from Cartersville Road at around 120. That's the stuff that we were looking at earlier, Rex. And look at that. That was earlier. This is probably the tornado when it was touching down in Macedonia, because and you can see you can see the rotation. You can see off into the distance there was about a flake or two of debris with this earlier, but look at that as it moved over that house beyond the distance. That's something you definitely do not want to see in your neighborhood. But that was earlier today, right around 1:20, I think it was, when that storm was sitting over Macedonia, and the storm that produced that tornado, all right, is...
Well, we're getting reports now of structural damage in Macedonia.
All right, so now we're getting reports from structural damage in Macedonia, and that was out on Macedonia Road and Pop Weaver Road, I believe it was.
Pop Runnels Road.
Pop Runnels Road, okay.
And Macedonia Road in total.
All right, so let's go ahead and head over to that next video that we have. This is coming out of this is where, Purvis, you said? All right, so
I think it's Purvis, yeah.
So this is coming out of Purvis. Apparently, when was this shot? Do we know?
Let me go back and check my email.
Is this recent?
Yes, yeah. This is possible tornado in Purvis. Let's look.
All right, so this right here was this right here is not within the last 5 minutes, basically, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
So earlier.
All right, so this is footage that is sitting there at the moment, and you can see that lowering, that rotating wall cloud. Definitely something to watch for there at the moment as everything continues to move off towards the north and east. Now we'll go ahead and head back over to camera 8. And I still want to keep everybody updated. We're getting reports, Weather Service saying a tornado on the ground. Still with that storm near Shibuya in northern...
Yeah, with that one, yeah.
All right, so they're still reporting a tornado on the ground currently near Shibuya and Hiwanee. This is near 45. This is now crossing into Clark County, but it is right now on top of the city of Shibuya. They are saying a tornado on the ground in that area. Meanwhile, back down towards the south, the rotation near the Johnson community that we were tracking earlier is not as pronounced as it was. This is, I would say, some of the weaker rotation that I've seen pretty much all day that has been warned on, but it is still something that we're watching very carefully. But again, I'm still watching that area of rotation out here near Oklahoma, and it really has my attention. It looks strong. I mean, it's definitely there. So I'm gonna tell you this: if I was you, and if I lived near Oklahoma, near exit 60, exit 59, if I lived over here near the EMA building, Glenn Moore, are you listening? Because he is sitting right here in his office, probably in the bunker, manning the radios and everything down there, communicating with all the county agencies. This is going to go very close to y'all. So this is going to go very close to the EMA. There's those 2 gas stations, the Texaco and I think a Shell right there. This is going to be getting very close to Sullivan Kilrain Road. I would be getting ready to just go ahead and get into my safe spot. This is spinning enough that I'm concerned about it. There's nothing official about this warning at the moment, but it is definitely spinning. It's definitely, and I'm looking at it from 2-3 different radars. There's rotation with it, and it's got my attention currently at the moment. And I mean, and Ryan, what do you think about it? You're zooming in on it on your end. What do you think about that area of rotation now on the southern side of Hattiesburg?
Yeah, I've kind of been watching that one. There's a couple a little bit further north as well. You pointed out the one over near Dixie, it looks like. Also one just west of Baxterville and north of Sandy Hook. But let me move back to, computers sometimes getting away from me. But yeah, that one is a little concerning there as to why this one was not warned with others that look very similar has. So just kind of another one of those situations where we can't confirm that it's anything there. Don't even have the warning with it. But earlier this morning at about 5:30, heard some loud rain here at the station, possibly some hail mixed into it. Got a viewer report that they had some damage near their home. Looked at the radar, saw there was rotation. Never got a warning, but very likely that was the first tornado to touch down today. Of course, we'll have to wait for the survey team in the days ahead to confirm that. But this is another situation like that where it may just have slipped through the cracks and not gotten a warning, but still a dangerous situation.
All right, so thank you, Ryan. All right, there it is. There is the tornado warning, finally. All right, so they have now issued a tornado warning. This is going to be a tornado warning in effect for Forest and Lamar counties until 3:15. We've been talking about how tight that rotation was, and it just, I didn't get a good feeling about it, and so it is now.
Yeah, they definitely issued a tornado warning.
It is now official. Tornado warning. This includes the city of Hattiesburg. This includes Petal. This will include Oak Grove, but I think
it says it's located near Oak Grove.
Yeah, but if you look at it on
or
radar,
near West Hattiesburg, moving northeast at 45.
All right, so this is it's on the southwest side of town. If I put it on rotation, you'll definitely see the rotation is on the southwest part. It's near Oklahoma. Here's Oak Grove, so it's only a couple of miles south of Oak Grove, but we now have that tornado warning in effect for.
It's going to miss Oak Grove, though, right?
Yeah. This is going to go about a couple of miles south of Oak Grove, but Oklahoma, Richburg, the Cloverleaf area, Lincoln Road, William Carey, Hattiesburg, y'all need to be in your safe spot. This is that favorable Hattiesburg track where it comes in from the southwest. It moves right over the interstate near exit 60 and then continues on towards the north and east, and this eventually could wind up in Petal. The rotation is definitely tight with it right now, and I want to zoom in just a little bit tighter, and I will show you everything that's going on here. So here is what we have with the Pathcast. So it'll be coming into Richburg by 2:19. Pearl River Community College, the Hattiesburg campus at 2:23. William Carey at 2:24. Hattiesburg, the city itself at 2:25. Cartersville at 2:28. 2:29 in Petal. And at 2:32, it'll be coming out towards the east side of Petal, towards Petal High School. So again, tornado warning. This is coming into the city of Hattiesburg, the actual city itself. You need to be in your safe spot now. You should not be on I-59 between exit 59, which is 98 east, and exit 65, which is 98 west, that you would go towards Columbia or get on Hardy Street. So basically, about 6 miles of the interstate, you need to go ahead and clear it because this is about to cross very close to exit 60, which is the Highway 11. That's out near Sullivan Kilrain Road at the moment. And again, this is coming into Hattiesburg, and again, this is probably going to be rain wrapped. I'm not really sure that we're going to see this as it moves into the area. But Rex, do you have something?
This is similar to one we were tracking that night, right?
Yeah, this is in that. This is not. I mean, it's not dissimilar type tight, but it is the similar track.
path.
It's the similar track. I was just thinking about that because that went through Richburg and then came in because we just mentioned PRCC and PCS and William Carey. This is taking that all too familiar track coming into the south side of Hattiesburg, but the rotation is sitting right here at exit 60. So here's the city of Hattiesburg. Here's 59. Sullivan Kilbrain comes around here. And this is moving off towards the north and east. This is about to cross I-59 here within the next minute or so. And this is going to be moving off towards the north and towards the east, coming into the southern side of Hattiesburg. So I think officially, if you live out here near Oak Grove, and especially if you live in the Oak Grove part near 98, you're fine. You don't need to worry about it because the rotation is down here. But this is about to cross over portions of I-59 at exit 60 and will move into the south side of Hattiesburg. So basically, if you live south of Hardy Street in Hattiesburg, you need to be in your safe spot now. If you live north of Hardy Street, you got about another 5 more minutes before you need to be there. But it is on the south side of town, and I'm not seeing any signs of any debris with this, and that's some good news. Hopefully it stays that way, but I'm gonna tell you, if this thing touches down where it is, we're gonna get a signal. We're gonna get a debris signature because there's enough houses, buildings, and trees in town. We will see it. So it's not something that I'm worried about. It's too world to see. We'll see it, believe me. But that's where the area of rotation is. And again, Sullivan Kilbrain Road, you need to be in your safe spot now. Tatum Camp Road, this is coming up near Steel Road and out towards Green, Timber Loop, Richburg Road, out towards Tatum Camp, Jervis Mims Road, and eventually once it crosses the interstate, it'll be coming over here towards Parkway Boulevard, Presbyterian Christian School, PCS. There's William Carey over here to the north and east. So here's the rotation. Here's William Carey. And I mean, it is taking almost the exact same track as that January 21st, 2017 track. Obviously not the same type of rotation with this. It's radar indicated rotation, but we're definitely watching it as it moves off towards the north and towards the east. And
check out southeastern Marion County right quick.
all right, so we're checking out southeast Marion County at the moment. So we're seeing weak areas of rotation. It's not as tight as
not the one near Hattiesburg, no.
Not as tight as the one near Hattiesburg, but it's definitely spinning. I will say that. There's another area of rotation, but the one near Hattiesburg has my attention. The one that we were tracking earlier that is near Shibuda has now moved into Clark County, and that's now moving out of our viewing area. We got the one in Jones County, which is not as strong, and they're at 15. And then we still got a remnant tornado warning from an earlier storm once it was moving through portions of the area near Bay Springs and Stringer. But really the only big thing that we're tracking right now is the storm out here near Hattiesburg, coming over here towards the Dixie Community, Richburg, South Hattiesburg. You need to go ahead and get into that safe spot right now. Rex, you got
Weather Service just reported they were watching that cell near Hattiesburg. I think that's the one you got up right there, right?
Yeah. So what are they? Did they mention anything?
She just said, who it was watching that cell near Hattiesburg. It's all in the statement they made. So they may be coming up with something soon.
Okay. So we'll keep a close eye on that at the moment. But everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. And this is just going to be a long day here across the area. And we're still here. Ryan, are you seeing anything? I noticed you just pulled up a path cast on this storm. But tell us about what time will it arrive in some of these communities.
Will do, and you pointed out that these are kind of training through some of the areas that have already seen some potential activity, as well as just regular thunderstorms that didn't end up warned. There have been a few of those, even though you probably wouldn't know it. But with this one in particular, the one that just was warned again to the southwest over by the Dixie community, looking at the times, we could see some this moving into that area. It's 1:22, so by the next 4 minutes, moving into PCS, it looks like. The metro area of Hattiesburg by about 2:30, which would give us a good 8 minutes there. Harvey at 2:36, Petal by 2:38, Leeville at 2:44, Estabucci at 2:49. And then Macedonia, once again, which already is reporting damage from an earlier storm, once again at 251. Now, that does imply that it needs to hold together long enough to push into those areas and to cause any more damage. But the tornado warning is there. It's a broad area of rotation. It's kind of fluctuating a bit in terms of looking tight enough to potentially be a tornado on the ground as opposed to being a radar apparent tornado. So that's what we're continuing to look at. As far as everything else with this one, it does have some hail associated with it, some small hail upwards of about 1/4 of an inch, I would say 1/2 inch on the high end. Now that's reporting a little bit further south of where that cell actually is, which would be, I would say, slightly further towards the north there, just delay in reporting with computer and everything. So a very strong updraft to be generating hail there, a very strong rotation pattern to have that tornado warning, and of course rain, showers, and thunderstorms mixed in doesn't help anybody. So continuing to see these issues pop up and move across the area, which, as I pointed out earlier, is the real issue with this. We're finally starting to see kind of the tail end of activity. This is a little, very tiny bit holding on there, but this kind of is the bulk of the activity. That's the back end of it, just kind of off towards Tylertown and Prentice. So there's still some cloud cover. It's still gusty back here, and there will still likely be some showers. But as far as eyeballing where we could see finally the potential end of a situation coming in, that's kind of what we're seeing back here. But of course, we're still watching this situation developing, and it looks like they just updated that one down that I was just talking about. I don't know exactly what they did with it. We'll give it to Patrick so we can get the latest on that from him and Rex.
Yeah, looks like they just updated a tornado warning. They removed Lamar County out of the warning, and now it's just solely a Forest County thing. Rex, what are they saying on chat?
They're saying on chat, tornado warning for Forest County till 3:15. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Hattiesburg, moving northeast at 45.
All right, so it's right now on top of Hattiesburg. To give you an idea where this is right near PCS. So here's Lincoln Road, where Comcast is, Arbor Walk Apartments, William Carey, Pearl River Community College. This is now coming up on the Cloverleaf area of Hattiesburg. So this is where the storm is now. William Carey, you all need to be in your safe spots right now. This will eventually be moving through the avenues coming up towards Hattiesburg, and it'll be getting close to the Hattiesburg Zoo. And then it'll move into downtown Hattiesburg, down towards the river, towards the Twin Forks area. And then after that, look what's on the horizon, the city of Petal. So Petal, you too need to be getting ready to take shelter, because this is still heading your way. Currently away from Petal, it's only about 5 miles away from Petal, and it's moving about 45 miles an hour. It's going to be there in about 8 to 10 minutes. So there we go, at 2:32. That's when we expect this storm to arrive into the city of Petal, and 2:36 towards Leeville. So basically, you have about 5 minutes before this arrives into the city of Petal at the moment, and everything is going to continue across the area for the next little bit. So heavy rain continuing to fall. But the rotation is sitting now on top of the Cloverleaf area as well. So everything is that we're watching is still showing signs of rotation as everything moves from west to east here across the area. But it is now in Midtown Hattiesburg out towards the Cloverleaf. I will say the rotation does not appear as strong as it did about 5 or 10 minutes ago on radar, but it does not mean that it has weakened. It's still a very credible storm, but it is now moving through portions of Hattiesburg. There on the east side of town, getting closer out towards the Amtrak station as well. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up our Skycam out at USM at the moment. It's really rain wrapped, but I do want to pull this up. So we're going to head over to our USM Skycam. Currently 73 degrees out there at the moment. Very heavy rain. And this right here is a good point. What we're looking at is not like the storms earlier where we could have watched a rotation. This is very rain-wrapped rotation now. So earlier we had hook echoes that were very dry on the south side, so we could see that rotation. But here, very rain-wrapped. We're not looking at really much, if anything. It's hard to see a block or two away, much less a couple of miles away in the case that we would need to look for the rotation. But very rain wrapped at the moment. Currently 73 degrees out there. Winds out of the south at 11, gusting to 23. Rain continues to fall here across the area. And as we look around at some of our other locations across the area, I want to go back over to radar now, and we're going to tidy it up. But again, this is coming into Petal. One thing that may be a little bit of a saving grace for Petal is that this supercell is starting to merge with another cell coming out of the south. So that interaction is weakening the parent supercell, but you know, we can still see more areas of rotation develop, but the rotation is still there. Nonetheless, I still see rotation, and you know, this eventually be coming into Jones County should it hold together. But Hattiesburg at the moment, that'll be coming into Petal eventually towards Petal High School as it crosses over the Leaf River. And this is something that we're going to have to keep a very close eye on for the next little bit, because this is a very tight rotation still, even though the storm is kind of interacting with another storm at the moment. Then off towards the south and west, we're seeing a few areas of weaker rotation across Lamar County. Nothing that really piques my interest that would need a tornado warning. Then off towards the north, we got a couple of warnings. One warning that is stuck on in Jasper County. That one's now out of the area for them. And
Just
then
lost that one over near Ovette. That one dropped off south of Myrick.
all right, so they just dropped off the one for Jones County. So now, really the only thing we're tracking now is this one storm in the city of Hattiesburg. This is the only thing that is worth tracking at the moment. It's in fact really the only warning that we have in our viewing area. But again, we're watching this very carefully. I'm gonna flip back over to correlation coefficient. I'm not seeing any signs that we have anything on the ground with it. The rotation right now is on the east side of Hattiesburg, out by the Amtrak station. So we're talking out on the east side of town through downtown Hattiesburg, and it's about to get ready to cross over about to cross over the Leaf River between the Highway 11 bridge and East Hardy Street bridge, which sits right here. Of course, Adams Nursery right there near Cartersville Road, and then that'll come into the business district of Petal here on the southwest part of town as this moves off towards the north and east. But Petal, you need to be in your safe spot right now. Very tight area of rotation still with this storm. It is rain wrapped, so unfortunately we're not going to get a good view of it like we saw with these other storms this afternoon up around Laurel. This is becoming a rain wrap situation, but there's the rotation. It's sitting on the Hattiesburg-Petal line right on top of the Leaf River. So we're continuing to watch everything as it moves off towards the north and east, and eventually once this moves beyond Petal, Barrontown, Macedonia, and possibly Leeville, you may have to worry about this as well. But definitely a stormy afternoon, heavy rain continuing to fall across the city of Hattiesburg, but this is the only thing that we're tracking right now, and it is 2:30, so we've been on the air since about just before noon. I would say about 11:50 we came on air, and we've been wall to wall ever since, but that's just how today's went. We went from 1 warning to 3 warnings to it seemed like 17 warnings. Now we're down to 2 warnings, but the big one is still in our area is this one out towards the east side of Hattiesburg, and it is currently again between the East Hardy Street Bridge and the 11 Bridge there as it gets ready to move into Petal. We're hearing a lot of thunder and lightning here at the TV station as everything moves in. This is continuing to move off towards the north and east at 45 miles per hour, correct?
There's somebody on Facebook reporting a tornado on the ground. Northeast, let's see, northeast into Hattiesburg on Broadway Drive, I believe.
All right, we'll have to
get that verified.
We'll have to verify that, but we'll keep a close eye on that at the moment. Are you seeing any reports on chat, Rex?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So I'm not seeing any reports.
She may be just confusing with a scud or funnel cloud.
It could be, but we're still watching it nonetheless. But we have to get some of these reports verified sometimes, but that's okay.
We'll appreciate the report.
Tornado warning, that's for Clark County. A tornado is on the ground near Quitman, but that's outside of our viewing area. But again, the area that we're watching right now with that tight rotation is over here near It's near Hattiesburg and the Petal line. In fact, it's sitting right now on the Leaf River. It's sitting here. So this is now coming into the southwest side of Petal, basically the Allegheny Parkway. You need to be in your safe spot immediately. And this is a very dangerous situation. Old Richton Road towards Barringtown, Leeville Road, Corneth Road. Again, Sunrise Road way out here. I think you're going to be fine because this is now moving over the actual city of Petal. But you know, Rex, it sure did. It took that very familiar path.
It did, telling you.
That me and you rode out that night, but maybe about a half a mile north. But still, you get the point. It seems like the preferred track coming out of the southwest and northeast, but we're still watching it at the moment. And again, the rotation now sitting between the city of Hattiesburg and the city of Petal and continuing to move off towards the northeast. This will be riding right up Old Richton Road here within the next 3 minutes or so, and then it'll continue off towards the north and towards the east. And it's still moving at about 45 miles per hour. So looking again, we'll look one more time from that sky cam out at the campus of USM, but it's just really rain wrapped, and it's going to be hard to see anything because we can barely see beyond the buildings, which are only a block away. So these storms are producing very heavy amounts of rainfall here across the area, and it is just one of those days here where we saw a little bit of action and now everything is becoming rain wrapped.
Yeah, I just want to add that Weather Service says 42 counties are under area of flood warning.
Wow.
42, that's half the counties in Mississippi.
Yeah, that pretty much is. So, I mean, it just goes to show you the heavy rain continues to fall here this afternoon. So we'll go ahead and what I'm going to do real fast, because I want everybody to feel included. I just want to turn this on and let you know. So basically we had supercells fire up earlier on to this right around lunchtime. They're now beginning to merge, and that's why we're seeing kind of a downtick in the warnings, but they're merging into that squall line that's forming. And I think once this main squall line moves through the area, we're going to continue with the threat of severe weather. But the front is back here towards Brookhaven and towards Crystal Springs. Once this moves through, our severe weather threat will be over. But this right here is really working over the atmosphere. So this is helping us out tremendously. Yes.
Petal Fire Department is reporting a rapidly rotating wall cloud just east of Hattiesburg on Highway 42.
All right, so we got a rapidly rotating wall cloud in the city of Petal, and that's coming from the Petal Fire Department, correct?
Yeah, Petal Fire Department.
All right, so Petal Fire Department is reporting a fast-moving, rotating wall cloud there in the city. And yeah, it's right on top of the city. I'm talking about, and it's right on top. What they got a fire station right here. It's at it's over here at I think it's Leeville Road right here.
Leeville, yeah.
So there's the fire station. There's the water tower that says Excel by 5, and then Old Richton Road. And, I mean, they have a good view of it. So rapidly rotating wall cloud. So the storm is trying to produce a tornado. It's not there yet, but it is rotating, and it could produce a tornado at any time. It definitely has rapid rotation. And, again, Petal Fire Department reporting fast-moving rotation with this storm currently at the moment. So out there at Leeville Road and Old Richton Road, that's where we're seeing the area of rotation out there near the Petal Fire Department. But this is getting very close to the Bird Parkway, which is where the Walmart is, and now the rotation has now moved east down Old Richton Road. It's getting very close to Barringtown out towards Morriston Road. And I got a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out that appears to be for Pearl River County, so a little bit south of us. But we're going to stick with this right now because we do have the report. Anything else coming out from Weather Service chat, Rex?
Nothing yet. Let's see. This is out of our viewing area, but a tornado warning is an observed tornado is for Lauderdale County, but that'll be the Meridian market.
Yeah, that's the Meridian market right now. Ryan, what are you seeing over on your side of the partition right now?
Just looking at the structure, or at least what I could make out of it with this storm, the velocity, as you said, there is some rotation there. It does appear to be tight enough to be concerned about as far as the potential for funnel cloud rotating thunderstorm. No hail or anything associated with this one, or at least a very, very small spot just to the east of Petal, if anything there. So continuing to watch this one develop. As far as looking for debris. I looked at that. There's no areas low enough to indicate that that's something we need to be concerned about. So rotating, still with the tornado warning in effect in that area, and of course it's one of the more populous areas that it could have possibly found, which this morning we were having the opposite, with many of these moving through areas with streets that didn't even have names, just county roads. So this is a more concerning situation, and why we'll always err on the side of caution with that as it continues to move through. So we can verify rotation. We cannot verify anything actively on the ground, but from reports that we're hearing, it's certainly not a fun situation no matter what, whether or not it's an actual tornado on the ground or not.
Yeah, Ryan, and we're still watching it very carefully. If we could come over here, there we go. All right, so we're still watching it. Rotation is still very tight. Again, the rotation near Old Richland Road and out towards Barrontown at the moment. That's heading out towards Pops Ronald Road, which just got hit really hard. In fact, they just had a tornado over here, Pop Ronald Road and Macedonia Road, and that's heading directly towards them at the moment. That's definitely not what you want to see. But I want to show you this. So this right here is a look across the state of Mississippi. Here's every green track you see. That's a rotational track that we've seen so far in the last 2 hours, or the last 2 or 3 hours here. And you get the idea. We've had so many air storms that have been rotating, especially west of the interstate, when things really upticked. And we saw some very tight rotation earlier from Bassville to Collins up here towards Laurel. A couple of cells went through. We had that very tight rotation that is now producing a tornado near Shibuya. But everything got started and it's really ramped up, but now we're starting to see something else happening. So what we're seeing happen is that these storms are beginning to choke up because we're starting to see more competing, and instead of them being separate supercells, they're merging into a squall line. So that will definitely temper down the tornado threat some. It won't make it go away, but it will definitely temper things down. But it definitely an action-packed afternoon with several tornadoes reported on the ground. One reported on the ground in our area, but we're still watching everything so far as everything moves off from the west to the northeast. I'm starting to see now a little bit of weak rotation again around the Purvis area, with another little cell out towards Oklahoma. But again, it's not the strongest that I've seen all day. It's something worth monitoring, but it is not something that I'm overly concerned about at this time. But how today has been, we have seen storms, rapidly intensify as the day has went on. And if you see anything in Weather Service chat, Rex, be sure to
honestly, looks like it's becoming more of a heavy rain event.
Yeah, it's really becoming more of a heavy rain threat for across the area. You can hear the heavy rain falling here at the
This has been going on for hours.
And it's been doing that for hours, exactly right. But everything continuing to move off towards the west, towards the east. We're going to go back in tight on that city of Petal area of rotation now. It's now north of the city of Petal, now north of Barrontown. It's coming into areas around Macedonia. Any reports coming in from any of y'all, from any of your sources, from the fire department or anything, Rex?
Nothing right now.
You seen any viewers reporting anything? Okay. So we're still watching this. The rotation, again, not as strong as it was, say, 10, 15, 20 minutes ago, but it's definitely something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on eventually. And, we're getting to the point where if the Weather Service is going to do something for Jones County, they're going to have to do it very soon, because this is now coming close to the county line. They got a couple more minutes, but eventually, if they were going to continue it, they're going to have to press the send button on that warning, within the next 2
They are reporting a funnel cloud in the city of Petal.
Okay. So that would be this storm that we're looking at here. So they are reporting a funnel cloud with that storm in the city of Petal. That was about a few minutes ago.
That was 2:41.
Okay, so 2:41, they were reporting an area, a funnel cloud.
That was two areas of rotation. One kind of, if you zoom in, just to the southeast of Glendale, and then the more noticeable one over Barrontown now. So we may be seeing two different rotating areas as far as those reports go.
Okay, so Ryan, what do you got? What else do you have on your side of everything?
Well, that's one thing I was looking at too. You were mentioning it's starting to transition, and that's something that we knew we would see anyway, regardless of how it's set up. We would see a couple of different modes. The first being the supercell mode, which is what we're dealing with now, and what we saw a little bit earlier on in the day than we expected to see by about an hour or so. And now starting to see it transitioning into that squall line event, which will change a few things, making it more of a rain event, which is what we're seeing now. Now, as far as that goes, looking at totals from about the last 12 hours, there's not a whole lot of trouble spots really in the Pine Belt yet. You can see that one where we've had a couple of training storms moving just east of Oak Grove through Petal up west of Runnelstown, and these are the ones that keep just missing Union and going all the way up through Myrick. So these areas are starting to accumulate upwards of 2.5, 3 inches of rainfall, which is enough to cause some small scale problems. But if we look out there and know that that line is really just taking shape, this is the amount of rainfall that it dropped to the west of us when that line was much more well put together as it was approaching our area before we started seeing the supercells going off. And that's where you're seeing pockets of upwards of 10 inches of rain. So it's not to say that that's what we'll see, but that's kind of the direction that this storm is going to trend in. As soon as we start seeing these tornado warnings drop off, it'll be more roadway flooding, flash flooding, and the potential for aerial flooding that we'll be looking at for the hours ahead going into the nighttime.
All right, Ryan. All right, thank you so much. I got being told now we had some video that we wanted to show. So go ahead and show that. And where was this again at, Brand? All right, so this is on the Jasper-Jones County line. This is up in Claiborne Road. I think this was earlier this afternoon. That's a funnel cloud that we're looking at there. And again, that would have been with some of the stuff that we were tracking, remember, with the Skycam in Laurel. So this was back when the things weren't rain wrapped. Obviously now we're having a hard time seeing them. You wouldn't see it that clear because it's just so heavily raining. But we do have trained spotters, of course. Many first responders, the Petal Fire Department being one of those, have been reporting wall clouds and funnel clouds, but they also know what to look for, and they're first responders as well. So it's their job to kind of do that. All right, so let's go ahead and come on back to me across the area, and I'm looking to see, do we have anything new coming in? Do y'all have anything? I'm seeing...
Nothing out of chat, but I will say that's a problem in Mississippi. A lot of tornadoes you can't see when they're on you.
Right.
Because they're rain wrapped.
Yeah, and this is why you don't see the very photogenic stuff like you would see in the plains. You just see just kind of a cruddy stuff. Now, there is a tornado warning for extreme southern Pearl River County. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about this because the storm is A. Yeah, the rotation is A in Mandeville. So it's way back here on I-12. It's between Mandeville and Covington. B, it's going to go into the very southernmost part of Pearl River County, and that's way south of the people who can get us, which I think our line stops at around Poplarville. So Picayune is definitely outside of our viewing area, but it is worth noting if you got some loved ones down in Picayune.
It is. I think it's worth noting too. I think that's the southernmost storm that we've seen, at least warned one so far.
Right.
We got a photograph from Pops Runnels Road.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trees down on it.
Okay. So we'll work to get some of that footage that are coming out of Pops Runnels Road. We're working on that right now. And again, if you have any good footage or if you come across any footage, feel free. Send it on in. You can send it to us here. Send it to 7. Open up to WDAM 7 First Alert Weather app. Scroll down to the bottom. You'll be greeted by this giant button. It is literally the size of your phone screen. It says submit your photos. You can't miss it. Press it. It'll give you a form. You can type in your information and then upload it to us. Videos, pictures, whatever. You can send it to us and it gives us clearance, and that way we can show them on air immediately instead of having to go back and forth to make sure we can get permission to use it. If you send it in this way, we automatically have permission and we can share it with viewers much faster. So be sure to send it in that way. But all right, so let's go to, we got some more videos starting to come in for some of the viewers out here. Thank you for sending it in. This right here was near the Walmart, and this was around 12:30. And Rex, this is right when we were looking at that one cell. Yeah. This is the exact moment. Look at that. That was the funnel cloud that was over the city of Laurel, right there at Walmart. And again, Laurel Ford just right, probably about a block behind it.
Yeah.
But look at that. That was some very tight rotation, very lowering. It almost produced something right there. Haven't got any.
It was on the threshold.
It was on the threshold. We haven't got any reports of damage in that area, so I don't. I mean, it's still early, but I would think we would have heard something by now.
I think we'd have heard something by now.
Especially with it being in Laurel. But again, definitely very ominous skies there, and that was around 12:30. So it gives you an idea of what we saw earlier today, Rex.
Macedonia Fire Department reports tornado on the ground, Macedonia Road and Bowling Drive intersection in Petal.
Okay. So Macedonia Fire Department is reporting a tornado on the ground, correct?
Yep.
Someone just said that on Facebook too.
Okay, so we're getting reports now of a tornado on the ground in the Macedonia community, so you need to be in your safe spot immediately. Again, what road was that, Rex?
It was Macedonia Road and Bowling Drive.
Okay.
Bowling Drive, yeah.
Yeah, so it's right about in that area over where we were just at, right in here. So this right here is where we're talking about. We now have a tornado on the ground. That's what the Macedonia Fire Department is saying. Macedonia Volunteer Fire Department is reporting a tornado on the ground in extreme northeastern Forest County in the Macedonia community that's about to move into Jones County, and they reported it on the ground. The storm is now about to move into.
It's pretty much there.
It's right there, but it's already into Jones County. But I'm not seeing any debris signature with it. I'm not discrediting them. I'm just saying I don't see any debris signature yet. But it is moving out of the area. So. I don't know if they're going to issue anything very soon, but it is worth noting that it is beginning to move into Jones County, and we'll have to continue to monitor this. Ryan, are you seeing anything so far?
No, I've backed up looking at the overall wind field with trying to pick out more areas of rotation. There is still some very strong winds, lots of bright greens out there, which does indicate upwards of about 40 plus mile per hour winds. We expected to see upwards of about 70, especially once the storm starts to transition from a supercell event to a more squall line or a quasi-linear event. That's where you start really getting those straight line winds to be more of a problem. Not to say that they haven't been. Some of these damage reports may be from straight line winds. Those can still happen even in supercell events, but that's generally what you're going to see more of. So we're watching kind of the last of the rotating storms in the area right now, hopefully, at least, as we continue to watch that one develop, now pushing up into Jones County. Looking at it, it does have a good rotation. It does not have, as Patrick said, the debris signature. Again, that's not something you're going to get every time either. So we are starting to see this moving. And I would say that straight line winds will very likely be our biggest threat as we head into about the next 45 minutes and really see this start to take on that linear shape and give up on the more individual type storms.
All right, so we're still watching, and I'm waiting to see if the Weather Service is going to...
They have just answered you.
What did they say?
They're waiting. They're kind of sitting on a fence.
Okay.
They're watching it closely.
All right, so apparently it's right at the threshold. If it did touch down in Macedonia, which I'm not saying it didn't, it's been a very brief touchdown, but we do have a report from the Macedonia Fire Department of a touchdown near Macedonia Road about 3 minutes ago. But I will definitely say the rotation has really choked off a little bit. It's definitely not as strong as it was, but it is sitting near Ovette Petal Road, Ovette Moselle Road, near the Union community, just to the west of 29. So we're sitting here watching everything very carefully at the moment, and that area of rotation is just sitting there. But eventually this is, and I mean now this is wholly in Jones County. It's no longer in Forest County, so I can give the all clear at least to Forest County for at least a moment or two. But I will tell you, I'm watching new rotation coming into the areas around Dixie once again. So we're seeing another little training supercell trying to get this act together, what appears to be out here towards the Richburg area. But again, it's just one of those days where we have a lot going on, and we're going to try our best to keep you informed with everything going on. There are a lot going on. And look, there's another little area of rotation that's trying to form up near Whistler. It's not the strongest, but still, it's definitely there. and it is definitely credible. As you can see, a little weak supercell shower out near Waynesboro. But the only thing that is in our area at the moment is over here with that tornado warning sitting into the northeastern part of Petal. And everything continues to move off towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Are there any other reports coming in from y'all, from Forest County or from the Weather Service in Jackson?
From areas outside of our viewing area.
Right.
But
all right, so we got some more footage from Petal. Let's go ahead and show that right now. This is coming in from 152 of some of low-hanging clouds. So at 152, this would have been about an hour ago of low-hanging clouds off then to the horizon. You can see a little bit of rotation with it as well. But I mean, this is just how it's been today. Everything has been spinning, but we've had a hard time making it spin fast enough that it comes down towards the ground. And I will say that's been a good thing. We don't want to see Christmas tornadoes. We don't want to see damage here. That's not the kind of stuff that we want to see. We would rather see nothing happen, and hopefully it'll stay that way. But we do have at least 2 reports of a tornado earlier. One of them was out near the Ovette community this morning, and the other one was out into Macedonia at around the top of the 1 o'clock hour, and then we just had another brief touchdown report at the 2 o'clock hour, or near just about 10 minutes ago. But again, that air rotation was very tight earlier, but it is now not so much. But the Weather Service is still watching it. But guys, I'm starting to watch this one area. I think there's a little bit of contamination with this one because it is just kind of an odd shape to it. It doesn't have the concentric shape that I would expect to see. But what do I know? They issued a tornado warning on it. So we now have a new tornado warning coming in from the south side of Hattiesburg for this area of rotation. This is going to be out near William Carey and Bobby Chain Airport, and we got a second tornado warning coming out. So there's tornado.
Yeah, we got a
one.
tornado warning into 3:15 for producing a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Hattiesburg, moving northeast at 40.
Okay, so we got that one. Ryan, they just issued a new tornado warning up near Waynesboro. So can you get that one lined up, and then I'll toss it over to you in a second. I want to first talk about the one in Hattiesburg. So we're watching that area of rotation that's coming into the south side of Hattiesburg. This is near William Carey right now, near where the Salvation Army is, 49 and Tatum Industry Drive, PRCC, PCS. And again, here's William Carey, here's James Street, Bobby Chain Airport over here to the right. And this is moving off towards the northeast, so it's moving directly on top of William Carey University at the moment, and that'll be moving over Hardy Street. And eventually, this will be moving into Sunrise and Petal within the next couple of minutes. And Rex,
Eerily similar to what we saw.
Yeah, it really is.
Early that morning, yeah.
It really is. Now, Ryan, that we just had another tornado warning issued for areas around Hawaii. What are you seeing over there with that warning?
Looking up at that one up in the northeastern corner of the area, it does have some good reflectivity, some strong areas. It kind of has the supercell shape that we've been seeing going on all day long. But as we're looking at that, you can kind of see it kind of taking that ragged line shape as well. As these will start moving around, they're kind of starting to bump into each other, and they'll begin to kind of fill in these holes. But there are still those 2 areas, and the one near Hawaii is one of the more interesting right now. That one having a pretty tight and bright couplet here. You see that bright area of green right up against that bright area of red, so you know that we've got rapidly rotating area there. Perfectly makes sense why we would see the tornado warning there. As far as other metrics, I don't see hail in the area, and when looking at shear, I don't see much, but what is there is a little bit further off towards the north, just out of the area. So it has many of the ingredients it needs, but like many, I believe it's kind of trending with many that we've seen, where they're just really struggling. They have everything they need, but they aren't able to hit the ground and sustain themselves. We're very likely seeing, and we'll see in the days ahead as the survey teams go out, these are very likely hitting and lifting off and then moving. Had a viewer said they live just across the street from where you guys said Macedonia and Bowling Road. Lives just across the street from that. So they're seeing those low spinning clouds, but as far as hearing the noise or seeing the traditional hallmarks that come along with a tornado being nearby, the green skies, that sorts of things, not really seeing that in the area. But everything else is there, and that's exactly what we've been seeing and why we push this so much, that even though all the ingredients are there, it doesn't mean it can happen, but that the chance is there, and we're seeing a good chance. And to be honest, just lucky, I guess, at this point. We'll look a little bit deeper into it once we're out of the moment. But just lucky that none of these have been able to sustain themselves on the ground for too long. And actually, now that I'm looking at that one near Hawani, it just now picked up a small area of very weak shear that you have to zoom way in to see. Right there above Shibuda Yukata Road, Waller Ridge Road. That little area right there. So I would say that that's what we're looking at. That's co-located with that rotation, a little bit of shear, very small little hail blip. So I would say it's about where it is, exactly. Moving off towards the northeast and towards, they keep moving on me. Waynesboro Shibuda Road, lots of Shibuda roads out there.
Yeah. And so thanks for that, Ryan. Yeah, a lot of Shibuda roads, a lot of so-and-so to so-and-so roads out there in rural parts of Rayne County. If there is a little bit of good news, I've kind of noticed what you've been talking about, Ryan. The ingredients are there, but for some reason the storms just are not tapping into it. I'm wondering maybe the winds are not at the surface turned southeast enough. Maybe there's just a little bit too.
I think that's what the weather service is.
And I think that's what we're seeing. And Rex is kind of agreeing with me on that there. The rotation now that's out here towards William Carey is crossing the Leaf River. It's going to be moving right here near the Iron Bridge. So that's the East Hardy Street Bridge coming into Petal. So Sunrise, Petal. This is where the area of rotation is now. But again, this is not the strongest area of rotation that I've seen all day. I've definitely seen stronger, but it is there. So we're covering it. But I do want to kind of zoom in a little bit tighter here. In fact, I want to go over to GR to give you an idea of what's going on. So here's where the area of rotation is. Right now it's on top of the Leaf River, but it is coming into the southwest part of Petal, which is sitting right here. This will be moving right through Cartersville Road, and eventually it'll be crossing the Allegheny Parkway pretty soon. Very close to probably where the Walmart intersects with it as well. But everything continuing to moving off towards the north and east. It is now past William Carey University and PCS and PRCC. So if you live down here near Chain Airport and PCS, you're okay. I would give it another 5 more minutes for William Carey, and then you can be in the good to go category there. And then this continues to move off towards the north and east. Now the rotation is in Petal wholly itself. So that's what we're looking at now. Again, this is about to cross over the Allegheny Parkway near Cartersville Road, so most likely out near the Walmart area out here, kind of in the eastern side of the Petal Business District. And then this will be moving off towards the northeast, towards Barrontown, and eventually Macedonia. Surprise, surprise. This will only be the 4th or 5th storm that has moved through Macedonia, what seems like the last 2 hours. Y'all, I don't know what y'all have done out there, but obviously somebody is not happy with y'all, because I'll just keep getting rotating storms.
They do.
And it isn't near. It is like moving right over the word Macedonia, right over the tiny part of the town itself. But again, the area of rotation now is wholly in Petal. So basically, if you live on the Hattiesburg side of the river, I can give you the all clear, but this is now a Petal situation east of the Leaf River, moving off towards the north and east at about, about 45 miles an hour still? So that's what we're looking at right there. Is there any new information coming out?
I want to read some street floodings in Hattiesburg.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay, this is from the city of Hattiesburg government. These Highway 49 at Frontage Road Memorial Drive, Hardy Street at 24th Avenue, 200 block of Kimball Avenue, Hardy Street at 21st Avenue, Highway 49 past Forest General. Traffic is being diverted to the Service Road there, and 19th Avenue and Pearl Street. So we've got a lot of flooding in the city of Hattiesburg.
Yeah, and if you look right over the city of Hattiesburg, this is just over the last 3 hours. We're seeing rainfall in that strip of yellow there, 1 inch, about 2 inches. And it says in the last 3 hours, but most of this has fell really within the last hour or so. With these cells that are moving off towards the north and east. So we're starting to get some those new those troublesome streets that we normally see, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. Ryan, do you have anything new coming out?
I'm just watching that same one, the one just sitting over Hattiesburg Pedal, following that same line. Many of the same hallmarks that we've been seeing, obvious rotation, but not seeming deep enough to reach the surface and sustain that there. But as I mentioned earlier, and you just alluded to, we're starting to see that transition. We still have tornado warnings in effect, which means that should take precedent over everything. If you are in a warned area, you should be in that safe space. You should be with your warning devices and your helmets and your pillows and your shoes and all those things to stay safe. But also starting to see that next phase of this approaching, that rain, the fact that we're seeing flooding all over the city, and we still have another little bit of this storm on the backside here. And even once that's through, it's still not quite finished raining all the way out as far as Summerall there. We're still seeing at least a light rain, which will only exacerbate, plus the fact that we're also going to be seeing runoff from the north from these areas that saw rain over the next couple of days. So we'll see our flooding issues today from the storm, from flash flooding, from low-lying or areas of poor drainage, and then we'll just need to watch in the days ahead those rivers and creeks and see if any of those areas linger for too long, because the rain's really going to pile up here over the next few hours.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. I heard something in my ear, but it did not come through. So if y'all were trying to tell me something from Master Control, just let me know. Right now I hear. All right, so.
Tornado warning for Wayne County to 3:45.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So what was that, Rex?
Tornado warning for Wayne County. Until 3:45, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 5 miles east of Ovette or 10 miles north of Richton, moving northeast at 40.
All right, so that's where we're seeing that, and that right there is an area rotation that it just went through Ovette. And what time does that tornado warning expire?
3:45, I believe.
3:45. Yeah. Okay. So 3:45, radar indicated tornado. And areas in the path of this, unfortunately, include Hollis Creek, Stringford, Whistler, and towards Waynesboro. Clara and Mulberry are on the edge of this, and this is moving off towards the north and towards the east. And I think this is the same cell that just left the areas right around Runnelstown over towards Macedonia. And basically, you're still under a tornado warning if you're in Petal out towards Macedonia, towards Barrontown, as everything kind of continues to move off towards the north and east. And I also wanted to clarify for those of you in Macedonia, I did not mean to imply that y'all have brought this on yourself, that you're seeing so many cells.
No, you didn't mean
I
that.
want to clarify, so I'm sorry for that. I'm just trying to say y'all have been getting hit a lot today. So let me take my apology to you, and we will move on. But again, Macedonia, you've been getting hit really hard today. We've already got several reports of damage. We've had several reports of tornadoes on the ground in your community. Probably the hardest hit community today was Macedonia so far. But, and I have to use that word, so far. The day is not over. We've been on air for just about 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I don't see us getting off anytime soon because we're still tracking warnings. We got one tornado warning that just moved north of Whistler, and then we got the other tornado warning now that is moving out of Jones County into, it's moving out of Jones County near Ovette, and it is moving now into Wayne County near Hollis Creek and near Stringford. And again, that's moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour, and everything is moving off towards the north and east. So Whistler at 325, Waynesboro at 330, 334 for Winchester, and that'll be getting close to Clara as well. But Waynesboro, if this holds together at the bottom of the hour, that's when it'll be coming into your community. So we're still watching this, and as you can see, one thing to notice on radar, this storm, it is an embedded supercell inside of it. So this storm, you can see the little bit of hook right here. We have that hook signature with it, and it's still moving off towards the north and east, even though it's not a freestanding supercell. It is an embedded supercell, and that's why we're starting to see some of the rotation that we are seeing here with it this afternoon. Again, the rotation, decent. It's definitely some of the better looking rotation that we're currently seeing out there at the moment. And again, moving off towards the northeast at about 45 miles an hour, so that'll be getting into areas around Whistler and Clara at 326, Waynesboro around 330, Winchester by 335, and Boyce at around 337. So that's what we're looking at with this warning now moving into Wayne County. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Meanwhile, if there is any good news, the rotation that was down in Hattiesburg earlier, which by the way is coming up towards Runnelstown and towards Macedonia, much weaker than it was, say, 10 to 15 minutes ago here across the area, and things are starting to kind of it's not as tight as it was. So hopefully it stays that way, and hopefully this is a trend with this storm as it gets ready to move up towards the north and east. But again, Macedonia has been hit hard. We've already had reports of damage on Pop Runnels Road out towards Macedonia Road. Reports of trees down, a couple of structures were damaged, and so a trampoline, I think, was damaged as well. Do we get any more information?
Actually, I think it was a tornado that came out of some of our Warren counties, but in Clark County, they're seeing significant deforestation. So there are hundreds of pine trees snapped.
Wow.
Hundreds.
All
at
right.
the base.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of the videos that we got coming in. What do we got? All right, so this is in the city of Laurel. This is taken from I-59 from South Central Regional Medical Center. We're looking off towards the southwest. This was earlier today. Definitely a very low wall cloud in that area. This was sent in to one of our viewers. And you got 3 other images or videos, right? All right, so this is a tree down. This is in Macedonia at the moment. This is a tree down off of my earpiece just died. So
You need a battery?
yeah, if y'all could just give me a battery real fast. I guess after staying on all morning and all afternoon, that was bound to happen. Okay, all right, now I can hear. So where was that again? Pops Runnel Road. All right, so that was a tree down. That's in the Macedonia community from that apparent tornado earlier.
Looks like one in the distance back there.
All right, and there's more damage at Pops Runnel Road in Macedonia. This is coming in from our viewer. And finally, another picture from that area. And look at that fence. It looks like that looks like a pretty decent wood fence. That actually looks pretty
That's
brand.
a nice new wood.
That's a brand new fence too, because that wood is still pretty yellow. So that definitely takes some strength to do that kind of damage. That's,
Look at the bark on that tree.
and that bark on the tree, sure thing, yeah. So we got some damage that's coming out of the Macedonia area as well. Now, one thing I want to do, I want to take a look. So right now, basically, we are sitting at 310, and one thing that's to notice is that the supercells that we were expecting to fire up, they did. They fired up, but now they've merged and they've created a new squall line here across the area. But if there is a little bit of good news out of that, it is this. Basically, this area from, say, Quitman down to Hattiesburg and down towards Poplarville, I would say these areas westward, your severe weather threat is much lower. It is not over, but it is much lower than it was earlier. We got to wait for this final squall, the final piece of energy to come through, which is with this squall line. Once this moves through, our severe weather threat will be over, but the severe threat is much lower between the first line and that second line. So that's a little bit of good news. Obviously, once this is all over, we'll be done, but thankfully it's not turned out as bad as I was afraid of earlier on. in terms of what we were looking at, the possibility of long track tornadoes. This definitely could have been much worse, but not saying that what happened has been good, definitely by no stretch of the imagination. We've had damage in Ovette, we've had damage in multiple communities around the Jackson area, up towards Forest and up towards Lake. We've had reports of damage in Macedonia and Ovette. So we're still getting some of those early reports, but it's definitely fewer and far between here, which is a little bit of good news, and we're not seeing any big significant reports of big damage here across the Pine Belt. We are seeing one tornado warning there in portions of southern Pearl River County with a tornado on the ground to the north of Slidell. That'll be going near Poplarville. This will be moving off towards the east. We'll have to see how far this holds together. With it kind of more on an easterly track, this may stay south of Wiggins, but we'll definitely keep a close eye. Once it gets closer, we'll be able to take a better look at it. But again, the two warnings that we're watching right now out here towards Hattiesburg, and which is now off towards the north and east. And then we're watching another area of rotation in Wayne County. Now, the little bit of good news is that both rotation areas that we were watching with these storms are not as tight by any stretch of the imagination. This one that's moving out of Hattiesburg is actually over Runnelstown, and in fact, the Water Service of Mobile has not issued anything. If anything that may happen, it's this one near Stringford that is definitely looking much more impressive. The Water Service now is issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of southern Lamar County and southern Forest County until 4 o'clock for the potential of winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. So we're talking about areas around Lumberton, Carnes, Poppy Johnson State Park, Brooklyn, Carnes, and Maxey. You're all under the threat for severe weather here across the area, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. And again, that is a warning until 4 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm warning, the first severe thunderstorm warning we've seen in the last couple of hours as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east. Yes, Rex.
Yeah, they've got a lot of flooding. Apparently, US 49 at Mamie Street.
Okay.
The law enforcement are on the scene directing traffic. There's instant traffic impact is high. So there's a lot of flooding in Hattiesburg, probably everywhere around us.
Right. And then, so with that one weakening near Hattiesburg, I want to focus more on the area of rotation out here near Stringford, because this is definitely starting to ramp up this afternoon. As you can see, that rotation very tight here between Stringford and Hollis Creek. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter here. So basically, Stringford, Pleasant Grove Road, this is where it's sitting at between Strickland Road and Stringford Pleasant Grove Road. And this is going to be moving right over Clara Stringford Road, and eventually it'll make it over towards Manor Creek Drive as this thing moves off towards the northeast. It's in a rural part of Wayne County, but still, we got plenty of homes out there, and this is some tight rotation again as everything continues to move off towards the north and east. Looking at it from the mobile radar site, we have rotation. We have rotation from Jackson, and that's what we're looking at the moment. So the rotation continues to move off towards the north and east. Has Wayne County said, or Mobile said anything, Rex? About?
Yeah, they said they canceled the tornado warning for Wayne County.
Did they mean the northern Wayne County?
Yeah, I think there's one for central Wayne County now.
Yeah, that's the one we're tracking right now. Have they said anything on that storm?
We just lost the warning that was over Hattiesburg and Petal. That one's expired.
I mean, not that I can find.
Okay, good deal, Ryan. So that one has expired. Are you seeing anything new that I'm not looking at?
No, actually, I was about to say I was looking at that one while you were talking to Rex, and the rotation on it really dropped off. You see those bright colors, those bright greens, those bright reds. You're not really seeing that, nor are you seeing how it's so co-located. Not as tight of a rotation as we've been seeing, so much broader, which I was just about to say it wouldn't surprise me if they dropped that off, and they did. So still, even though the warning is gone, you're still seeing at least some broad rotation, and like we've said, any of these that have been popping up as individual discrete supercells have all been rotating. Thankfully, not fast enough, it seems, at least at the surface, to get those to reach down and hit the ground and sustain themselves there. So it's something we've like to see is when these start breaking down like this and you can start transitioning to that more straight line wind, which still cause problems, but are much easier on a broad area to track as far as they're moving through an area and timing those out and when they'll be at a certain place, as opposed to these tornado type storms that have more than a normal degree of randomness to them.
Yeah, and it is. It's finally nice that we're seeing a little bit of a break, and hopefully this is a trend that will continue on as we go into the afternoon, where things start to kind of ramp down. Again, we started off with 1, quickly went to 5, and then we went to 17, and then we kind of slowly came back. But we're still dealing with occasional tornado warnings out there. We still have storms that are rotating, and the big one that we're watching right now is out in Wayne County. This is out here towards Stringford, and is moving off towards the north and east. This is going to get very close to the town of Waynesboro, and as you can see, Waynesboro right here near the 4584 Cloverleaf. So we're going to have to watch that carefully. So I've drawn out the track here. 327 at Whistler, 335 for the city of Waynesboro, Boyce at 338, Hiwanee at 341, and then eventually this will continue to move off towards the northeast, and if it holds together, it'll be getting close to the Mathersville area of extreme northeastern Wayne County. But again, this will be crossing 84, somewhere kind of between, I would say, within a couple of miles east of the area around Whistler and Beat Fort Elementary, kind of near the Chickasawhay River, which, by the way, is that squiggly blue line right there. But Waynesboro, you are officially under that tornado warning, so you need to be in your safe spot. Areas around Buckatana, Robinson Junction, even out towards Shakora, not necessarily so much. In Ukiah, you're getting a break from this storm as well. But this is definitely heading towards Whistler, Boyce, Hiwanee, and unfortunately could clip the city of Waynesboro here in the next little bit. I heard somebody in my ear, but I didn't get a chance to hear. What was that that y'all were saying?
That was me.
All right, so let's go ahead. We got some video footage coming in from Bobby Jane Airport from the storms earlier today. And yeah, there it is. There is another look at some of these storms. This was earlier this afternoon from the viewers. And again, we want to say thank you for sending this in because you are our eyes on the ground. We can only, we can't be everywhere at once, so you're definitely helping us out, and we can share with everybody what happened earlier. So this is when that rotation was passing very close to the airport. Does it say about what time this happened? Okay, don't have a time. That's okay. But you can see that very large shelf cloud, that wall cloud, and that very heavy rain curtain wrapping around the hook. But we definitely did have rotation with these storms earlier on.
It seemed like a lot of these almost made it. They just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, it seemed like they were struggling just a little bit. We got more footage coming in. This is from earlier. This is around Petal Upper Elementary School. We got lightning in that footage. You can see the school bus off into the distance. Very heavy rain, as you can see. The clouds look very ominous there, but I'm not seeing anything that is certainly threatening. But definitely it's been a very ominous day with all the cloud cover here across the area. So we're continuing that off toward as everything moves in. Do we have anything else, Brandon? Not linked. Okay. All right, Ryan, talk about what our viewers can expect once this system passes in, because I noticed you got the map pulled up right now.
Yes, I was just looking at this. I was thinking about ways that, or reasons why we may not be seeing, dozens of potential funnel clouds in the area, but not so many touchdowns. May have to do with the surface wind. You heard earlier that it may have to do with the angle of that, and that's potentially true. It is coming in quite stiffly at about 20 to 25 miles per hour due south, but as that front inches in, you can already see that wind shift taking place, and then where those two meet, when you have wind that's coming in at one direction and another coming in at the other, and they hit, it's got to go up. That's where you get your air rising, cooling, condensing. That's what makes those impressive looking shelf clouds, which can lead to wall clouds, which we've seen plenty of today. So we're about to see a couple of things start to change on us. We still have very warm, humid flow rushing up to meet this front. And again, it's only about halfway, not even halfway through the area, I would say, kind of just now pushing through Hattiesburg. On the backside, the wind is a little bit less so, not really rushing into the area at 20, 25 miles per hour, but still at about 10 to 15, and is going to be shockingly drier. So we're going to see some pretty rapid changes once you get on the backside of this imaginary line here, which is the front, where you're seeing the westerly winds meeting the southerly. So what does that mean for sensible weather, or it's going to drop down cold very quickly tonight. I expect that we'll see this still being in the 70s by about 5 to 6 o'clock, but by about 9 o'clock, having dropped into the 50s very quickly by then, and our low looking like it's going to be in about the mid 40s for tomorrow as we watch this cold air rush in. And that's not even it. It keeps going. We'll be down below freezing pretty soon. But you can just now start to see those changes moving in. And with us dropping off the warnings and starting to transition to a more linear storm, I believe it's going to start becoming a little bit more predictable in what it's going to start doing there. But even with those lines, those linear storms, you can still get those embedded tornadoes. So even then, you're not quite off the hook. Just feel a little bit better about it.
All right, thank you so much, Ryan. All right, so we've got one tornado warning that we're tracking. So what happened is they had a tornado warning earlier for northern Wayne County. That got canceled, but this one is central Wayne County still remains in effect because we got that strong area of rotation out near the Stringford area at the moment. Then down towards the south, we got a severe thunderstorm warning for areas around Lumberton, Purvis, and out towards southern Forest County. That's going to go for a little bit more. And then we got a flash flood warning in effect for portions of areas around Poplarville and for Pearl River County off towards the west. But this is definitely a much better sign than we saw earlier. But again, we're still watching that line of thunderstorms, and they're still tracking off from west to east here across the area. We'll put this into motion, and you can see how things have kind of went. So we're seeing that squall line really starting to develop. The storms earlier are starting to kind of choke off now off towards the west, and that's some good news. Once this line passes us, which is sitting up here near McGee and Prentice, that's going to be the back end of our severe weather threat. And after that, our severe threat will end. We'll still see some showers, but the threat of severe weather will be over. But I will say, now that this line is kind of congealed basically from Waynesboro, Purvis, Poplarville, out towards areas around Ovette, things behind this are, the atmosphere is worked over. It's not worked over all the way, but it is worked over to a great extent. So that's why we're not seeing many warnings, if any, coming out right now. But I don't think the threat will be over until that finally passes us here into the viewing area. But to kind of give you a recap of what's going on, the only tornado warning that we have at the moment, this is out in Wayne County. So we're seeing that hook that is currently standing up basically from Whistler, and you can see that area of rotation wrapping up back here towards the west. So this is out in Wayne County. We'll flip it over to velocity mode right now, and as you can see, that area of rotation, it is still there, and it's getting close out towards Waynesboro. So it'll come out towards Waynesboro at around 335, Boyce at 340, and Hiwanee at 342 at the moment, as well as everything moves off towards the north and east. One thing I want to do now is to load up our sky cams. I want to see if we can see anything so far with our sky cam out in Waynesboro. So we're looking off kind of towards the north, kind of towards the west, but again, it's going to be rain wrapped, so it's going to be hard to see anything if we can with this line of storms. But we're still watching things. Currently 71 degrees out at Circle C Tractor, and look, they've already had over a half an inch of rain so far. We're also starting to get in some pictures of some flooding that our team is working on as well. I think that's coming out from Hattiesburg, right, Rex?
Yeah, can I read these?
Yeah,
this
go
is
for it.
Brandy.
Yeah.
We have flooding reported Montague and 37th Avenue, 40th and Mamie, South 21st Avenue and Adeline, West Pine and 6th Avenue, West 4th Street in Maine, 7th Street at Highway 49. That always floods that area, always. 7th and 25th Avenue and Monterey Lane. So that's a lot of flooding in the city of Hattiesburg.
Yeah, it is. And just as you were saying that, Rex, they issued a flash flood warning for the city of Hattiesburg, basically for Lamar, Forest, and portions of Jones County. And this flash flood warning is going to go until 6 o'clock. Again, for all the reasons Rex just listed off, we have a list of streets that are currently they're not underwater, but they are.
Well, there's now multiple streets are flooded and multiple cars are stalled out.
Uh-oh.
That's from Glen Moore.
Okay. So we're getting a lot of heavy rain out there.
I think it's transitioning from a severe weather event to a more flooding event right now.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the video that we have coming out of Timberton Golf Course whenever y'all are ready. Look at the heavy rain that's falling out there at the moment. That is from earlier on, the heavy rain that's out there. Again, this is at Timberton. and you can see what appears to be the lakes out there this afternoon. But we're still watching this, and heavy rain continues to fall. You know what? We spoke too soon because
We sure did.
we now got another tornado warning coming in. This is going to be for
Forest County.
For Forest County.
To 4 o'clock.
All right, yeah, come on back to us until 4 o'clock. So, Rex, read off that warning while I get
All right, tornado warning, radar indicated for Forest County until 4 p.m. At 3:26, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles south of Rock Hill,
Yes.
or 14 miles northeast of Wiggins, moving northeast at 30.
All right, so Rock Hill is basically just east of Purvis, right near Brown Bridge Road. So the area that we're watching, and again, that tornado warning for Forest County until 4 o'clock. Here across the area. So let's head over to the velocity mode right now. And yeah, you can see where that is. And this is out towards Karnes. So Karnes, Maxie, if you live on 13,
Oh, you can see that
you
now.
need to be on your safe spot. And I got an update with the tornado warning. I'm guessing this is going to be coming out in Wayne County. So they're still got that tornado warning until 3:45 for Wayne County. So let me pull it up here in the off-air text. Currently, the warning is in effect at 3:25. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles west of Waynesboro, moving northeast at 40. So this is still moving off towards the north and east. The area of rotation here with this storm is crossing 84 at the moment near Whistler, near Beat 4, near Manor Creek Road. So you need to be in that safe spot there. There's, of course, the gas station on the right where all the trucks are always. Then across the street from that, there's the Dollar General near that intersection. So there's not much out there, but I'm going to tell you that gas station, every time I've drove by it, is loaded with people out there. So, these are some community landmarks in rural America, rural Mississippi, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't remember the names of them outside of the Dollar General, but you know what I'm talking about out there towards Manor Creek Road. So that's where that area of rotation is out in Wayne County. Then we're still watching this area of rotation out here into portions of Forest County. This is coming into Karnes. So areas around Karnes and Maxie, Big Creek Road, Grady Slate Road, Fairley Road, in Trinken Road, Big Creek Road, and DeSoto National Forest. So you need to be in your safe spot right now. The rotation is right here on the county line with Pearl River, and this is coming right down 13 and moving off towards the north and east. So Karnes and Maxie, and eventually Brooklyn, and the high school at Forest County Agricultural, you need to be getting ready to be into your safe spots because things are rapidly going downhill there this afternoon, and everything will continue here across the area as everything moves off from the northwest, from the northeast. And again, Rex, that is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, correct.
So moving northeast at 40 miles an hour.
Pardon me, 30 miles per hour.
All right, so this is moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. So what I'm going to do now is I want to put a path on this. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me try again because the computer did not like what I did. So there's the wide view. If you were curious of what it looks like out there on the wide view, we'll get back here to Southern Forest County, and I'm going to turn on the reflectivity or turn on the velocity mode. And the rotation, again, is still pretty tight here. And again, moving off towards the north and east at about 30 miles per hour. So I need to adjust my speed here. So northeast at 30 miles per hour. Brooklyn at 347, Epps at 353, Barron Point at 357, Red Hill at 404, Bellevue at 407, or Belleville at 407, and Monad out towards 410. And eventually, if that was to hold together, which it's got a lot of real estate between now and Highway 98 once it gets into Perry County, we'll have to watch it. But this is definitely some tight rotation. It's in an area where you can get a quick spin up, so that has me a little bit more concerned. But we're seeing very tight rotation out here towards Karnes and Maxie. And I know this is very familiar real estate to you, Ryan, coming up here on 49
yeah.
morning.
Just thinking, glad I'm not on it at the moment.
Yeah, you'd be driving back down to the coast. But yeah, We're still seeing that tight area rotation out towards Big Creek Road, Carnes Road, A.B. Simmons Road, Ash Nursery Road, and out towards Camp Anaconda Road as well, down here towards Highway 49 and State Road 13. So you need to be in your safe spot now if you're out here in Carnes, out in Maxey, a tight area of rotation. And again, it's sitting here near the county line on the western part of Forest County along Highway 13. And again, this is moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Anything new coming in from any of your stuff, Rex?
Yeah, well, Forest County is reporting multiple streets in the city of Hattiesburg flooded and multiple cars stalled out. So it's been one big rainstorm for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely turning into a big rainstorm outside of the areas of rotation that we're watching. So there's the rotation number one. I want to go back up again to show you the area of rotation that we're still tracking in Wayne County out here near Whistler. Again, this area of rotation is not as strong as it was, say, 20 minutes ago, and that's a little bit of good news. I'd rather see this be weaker rotation, especially with it around Christmas,
Well, they're saying Mobile is closely monitoring the circulation over Forest County, southwest of Brooklyn, that will be moving into Perry County.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're watching it.
Yeah. They may issue a tornado warning for that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that to see. But the rotation up near Whistler, I will say this. So this is going to be event canceled. So they're trimming back that tornado watch. That's some good news. So they've already trimmed
That's
out
very good
our
news.
3 western counties, but we still got a long way to go between now and everybody else getting trimmed out. I've been talking about this, and I'm talking to all of y'all about this. Getting tornadoes any time of the year is bad, but it just seems so worse when you're around Thanksgiving and Christmas.
It's horrible.
It's awful. So,
but I think we're lucking out.
We are lucking out.
We're lucking
I know
out.
there was damage reported with around Macedonia and Ovette this morning, but I'm gonna tell you, considering what the atmosphere was showing this morning, what we could have had long track tornadoes. We could have had big tornadoes on the ground.
Huge tornadoes.
For 10s, 20s, 10, 20, 30 miles. We're lucking out on that aspect. We didn't luck out altogether, but at least on the aspect of stuff grinding up the earth, it's definitely we're definitely looking better on that. Now, this area of rotation is going to go north and west of Waynesboro, so this is going to stay on the northwest side of town. And the rotation now is north of 84. It's out here towards Clara West Road. Can't say the name. Beat 4 Shibuda Road. I kept wanting to say bit, but it's Beat 4 Shibuda Road. And of course, Beat 4 Shibuda Road also has Beat 4 Elementary School, which sits right here. Galton Road and Waynesboro to Shibuda Road. That's where this area of rotation is right now. So we're talking north and west of the city of Waynesboro. Waynesboro itself is right here, where you can see Wayne County High School kind of in the thing down there. This will move up towards the north and east here, continuing to move off towards the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. We are seeing some weak rotation out towards Hollis Creek. It's definitely weaker compared to what we've been seeing. Really, the biggest thing that I'm more concerned about now is that tight little bookend vortice that we're seeing here out into southern Forest County. So we're talking about Brooklyn, towards the agricultural high school, towards Carnes, and towards areas around Maxey as well. But all this continues to move from southwest to northeast at about 40 miles an hour. And this will be getting into DeSoto National Forest pretty soon. Of course, that does take up a little bit of Forest County. But again, areas around Brooklyn, and that's just a messy image. So
They got a TDS in Southern Forest right now.
Okay, so we got a debris signature.
Yeah, that's what
TDS.
I was waiting on to pop up.
Yep.
Pretty small one there.
There it is. All right, so we now have a tornado on the ground in southern Forest County. So this is going to be out towards the Carnes area. It's a messy signature, but I'm gonna go to another radar
You
source.
think Mobile could be sick?
That's the one I'm using, I think. It's
That's the
just
one
a
you're
little-
using?
A
You're
little
using
blip
Mobile?
that it is in the right spot.
Okay, so we do have that debris signature down towards Carnes, and I'm gonna show you this. This is gonna be from the New Orleans radar site out in Carnes. You can definitely see it there. So let me flip over to analyst, and again, we are watching that area of rotation, that tornado on the ground right now, and there it is.
That's definitely there.
It's sitting here just to the northwest where my cursor is sitting, which is right here. That right there is Big Creek Road. So we got a tornado on the ground near Big Creek Road, A.B. Simmons Road, areas right here and some of the other roads are not popping up, but this will be coming up towards West Thompson Road.
Somebody just confirmed the tornado.
All right, Carnes Road as well. Who did?
Just Weather Service out of Jackson saying a confirmed tornado was located near Rock Hill, or 15 miles northwest of Wiggins, moving northeast at 35.
Okay. So that's what we're looking at there. So we got that tornado on the ground again. This is near Carnes, so you got to be in your safe spot right now. But there is the debris signature. And again, the debris signature at the moment is sitting right on top of, and there's the update to the warning, and there's the update period. The area of rotation is sitting just near Big Creek Road, and it's about to come towards Brooklyn and towards the Forest County Agricultural High School. So you can see here's where the area of rotation is at the moment, or the debris signature. We're no longer needing to say area of rotation. This is a debris signature sitting right there, and this is moving off towards the north and east. So this will be heading over towards areas right around Forest County Agricultural High School and Brooklyn very soon. So if you're in Brooklyn, if you're out towards Aggie High School, you need to get in your safe spot now. It's currently about 3 to 4 miles south of you, south and west of you, but it is heading up in your direction. So you need to be in your safe spot now. Now for the rest of Forest County, because Forest County is a very long county, this does not include the city of Hattiesburg. This does not include anything like that. But we are still seeing that one tornado that is on the ground now down in southern portions of Forest County. And again, this will be coming over towards Brooklyn, Forest County Agricultural High School. And again, this is moving off towards the north and towards the east. And y'all said y'all got a better view of it from the mobile radar site, correct? Ryan?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, there it is. We're still seeing it out there, and this is continuing to move off towards the north and east. Now I'm starting to lose it now. It's starting to get kind of garbled here as we switch in between different sources, but it's definitely on the ground. So Ryan, if you could give us a time of arrivals for some of these locations.
Sure. Zoom in a little closer here so I can get a few more. And while we were watching this one and you guys were talking, it had some very interesting things. It had a basically textbook flying eagle type supercell setup. Almost a textbook hook echo was seeing what we call 3-body scatter spikes, meaning it had some significant hail cores mixed in there as well. So it was really checking off all the boxes right before you started to see that developing there as far as the potential for the tornado, and now it confirmed on the ground. So let me get my track tool here and we'll drag this out. Do we know about how fast it's going?
It's moving northeast at 30 miles an hour.
35.
All right. Let's give it about a half hour here. And only showing the two areas of Brooklyn and Red Hill happening here in the next few minutes. It is 3:39, and that's showing 3:46 for Brooklyn, 4:07 for Red Hill. But as we zoom in a bit, we can just kind of trace this along. It's what I've had to do in some of these that haven't had too many areas. Looks like it's actually going to be passing 49 right across it here if it's not doing it right now within the next few minutes, as it crosses right there, 49 over Old Highway 49 towards Brooklyn, right at, as Patrick mentioned earlier, Forest County Agricultural High School. Thankfully, I do believe that they ended up canceling classes pretty early there, so that a good thing. Then it keeps making its way towards the southeast if it stays on that track, and that would take it towards Shadows Loop, which would be right there on the county line. So entering one of those areas where it's not giving us too many locations to pick up on in front of this track, and this is one of the more of the last several that we've seen, one of the most textbook visualizations of it. I mean, it's got everything there that you need to have to get this sort of confirmed tornado on the ground signature. So we haven't seen many of these today, but this one right now, and it's approaching Brooklyn rapidly in the next 10 minutes or so, is one that we can, one of the few that we can confirm is on the ground and currently moving through the area.
Yeah, Ryan, and we're still tracking it right now, although I will say it is getting a little harder to see the debris signature with it, and I'm looking at it right now. It may still be on the ground, but I don't think it's I mean, it still kind of looks like it is to me over here on the other product. So one thing that you notice, it's hard to see this sometimes, and this is called contamination. And but one thing I want to do is I'm just going to omit that part, and we're going to look at it in terms of velocity, so we can at least get a better view of where this storm is. And even that is still just a messy signature. But we are seeing that area of rotation. It is sitting kind of near here, which that road is, let me pull it up, West Thompson Road. So we're sitting here at West Thompson Road. That'll be coming up closely to Rock Hill Brooklyn Road pretty soon. And then that'll eventually cross into Forest County AHS and towards Brooklyn. So again, I'm still seeing a little bit of a weak signature that this may still be on the ground, although that signature is becoming less apparent with each scan. So that would be some good news that maybe this is weakened and lifted, but I would like to go one more scan before I could give you that all clear. But it is coming really close to the community of Brooklyn, about to cross 49. So Brooklyn, Forest County, AHS, you need to be in your safe spot now, and you should have been there 5 minutes ago, but you need to be there now because this storm has a history of producing a tornado that's been on the ground. It's been in rural parts of Forest County, but basically from just west of Carnes to Brooklyn, we've seen it cross over some of these roads here, and it has had a brief signature with it at times, but I'm not necessarily seeing that signature being as strong as it was earlier on here about 5 or 10 minutes ago, but it's definitely something we're still watching. Hannah, are you seeing anything new? Are any of the viewers seeing anything so far?
They're saying sirens are going off in Richton.
Okay, so that... All right, so that makes sense. They do have that severe thunderstorm warning out into that portion of the county. And then off towards the north and east towards Waynesboro. So we're still watching that one cell there. I want to flip back over to regular velocity mode here. And we'll head back up the road to areas over here into Wayne County, because I don't want to forget y'all, Whistler, we're still watching this one cell, although I will say the rotation with it is not as strong. In fact, the rotation is sitting near Hiwanee, and it is quickly moving off towards the north and east. And if you look at it here, the rotation becoming weaker as it gets closer to Shibuya. So a little bit of good news there. This warning continuing to move up towards the north and east, getting ready to cross looks like getting ready to cross into Clark County now, near the town of Shibuya. And again, that storm is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So it's been a very active and busy day, but we're still not done. We want to thank you for those of you who have been watching since we started here just before noon today. I think we started around 11:50, but we've been on the air continuously ever since. Chief Meteorologist Patrick Bigby, along with Meteorologist Ryan Mahan, Meteorologist Hannah Hayes. We got and also weather forecaster Rex Thompson here as well. We got the whole weather team here this afternoon, keeping you safe and informed, and we're using all of our resources to keep you updated on what's going on at the moment. So it appears now that they have dropped the tornado on the ground tag with this, that it is no longer on the ground. But basically you can see, I'm going to turn off this because I want to show some of the communities that are under that warning. Basically just the Brooklyn area. So Brooklyn and the Agricultural High School, you're under that tornado warning until 4 o'clock, so the next 15 minutes. But basically areas around Brooklyn, Janus Road, Old Highway 49 East. This does officially include the very bottom end of Camp Shelby, although I think the greater threat is going to stay pretty south of Camp Shelby. But that's the part of Forest County that remains under the warning. Basically, it's just areas right around the Brooklyn community as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east. Now, the Weather Service in Mobile has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this same area, and that goes a little bit further off towards the east. So I'm going to get the computer to select that. So that's the severe thunderstorm warning for Perry County until 4:15. Winds up to 60 miles an hour. The possibility of 1-inch hail. Radar indicated tornadoes are also possible in this area here. We'll watch it carefully for you. But this line of storms continues to move off towards the east here at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. And you can see a lot of heavy rain falling with these storms, basically from Camp Shelby down to Carnes and Maxey, and then everything continues to move off towards the east here this afternoon. Meanwhile, we're watching that one area. rotation up towards the north. And a little bit of good news, that tornado warning in Wayne County has been allowed to expire. I'm not seeing it on my map anymore.
No.
So that's some good news. So the only tornado warning that we have in our viewing area right now is the one in southern Forest County. And this is mainly just areas around Brooklyn. And again, that goes until the top of the hour. So we're still watching it. We had a brief tornado touchdown near Carnes, but things are not, we're not seeing any signs that this is still on the ground, but the rotation is still there with this storm. And as you can see, basically from Old Highway 49, where the agricultural high school is, out towards Brooklyn, that's the area that we're seeing that that strong that area of rotation. Basically, it's right over the town of Brooklyn, so you need to be in your safe spot right now. And this again will be crossing Brooklyn Janice Road, and it will be crossing Old Highway 49 East. And then it'll start moving into more rural areas of portions of the county and Perry County. And I'm going to zoom in and see if I can get some of these streets to pop up. There we go. So that would eventually, once it moves in, it'll be coming into the Southern National Forest, Forest Road 304, Red Hill Road, Forest Road 3500, Janice, Boykin Road. So you get the idea. This is some very rural parts of Perry County. This is out here in the DeSoto National Forest. So if anything were to happen out there, you would want it to be in a very rural area away from people where it just maybe hurts some trees, but nothing else. And what you really want to have is what I think is happening right now is that the storm is weakening just a bit, but we're still watching it just as it moves off towards the north and east. Budmeyer Road at Grapevine Road, Old Highway 49. And then this is coming up on the closer to the south side of Camp Shelby at the moment. But we're still watching things this afternoon. But again, the rotational signature with it is not necessarily there like it was about 20 minutes ago. Rex, do you see anything?
Yeah, this is something new. It just came in. There's two parts to it. Not confirmed, but preliminary spotter reports. Devin Hill, I don't know who that is. About 5 structures inundated with approximately 3 feet of flowing water. The cement parking area of E and B Grocery is inundated with approximately a foot of standing water. He's relayed pictures to the National Weather Service, so we can obviously verify that. Then another thing he says, I think there's 4 feet of water in some areas now. So that's a lot of flooding going on.
Okay. Let's go to some of those pictures of flooding real fast. I'm trying to figure out something that I just saw pop up on my screen. So Rex, walk it. So this is South 21st Avenue. Look at all this heavy rain. And Rex, there's those pictures of the stalled cars that we were just looking at here across the area. Let's go to that next picture.
That's right down from my apartment.
All right, so there's the next picture that we got. There's somebody's flooded yard, and definitely looking at a lot of heavy rain with. All right, so let's head over to Westover Creek, and look at that. That creek is flowing out of its banks, and then finally, what is our last one that we have?
They've canceled the tornado warning for Forest.
Okay, well, keep it coming. So let's head out to the next one. All right, so this is some damage, and where's this from? Pops Reynolds Road. This is out towards. All right, so this is out towards Macedonia, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. What else are we seeing?
Well, we've just lost our last active tornado warning at the moment.
Oh, right. So we've lost our last active tornado warning. We're still watching things very carefully here across the area. I'm watching to see if we see any other kind of reports come in, but so far things are kind of quiet. But that right there is some lightning. All right, and what's our next picture? All right, so that right there is rotating clouds from the rainforest in Petal. So yeah, that would have been when that storm was out near Petal around 1 to 2 o'clock earlier on. You can see the rotation with the storms as well as everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. So definitely a rough day. That was out in Petal earlier on this afternoon. And again, we've lost that final tornado warning, but we're definitely not done. Again, we are watching for the possibility of more heavy rain. We've seen heavy rain fall in some of these areas. Earlier, we have a flash flood warning that's still in effect. for portions of the viewing area, and then we also got the tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock for most of our counties here, but that has been trimmed away slowly but surely. McGee, Simpson County, Lawrence County, Walthall County, that's being trimmed away, and it's going to be slow, but eventually that we will see that happen as everything moves off towards the east. But now that we're seeing things kind of wrap up here in terms of our tornado coverage, what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and turn you back over to regular programming, but just know we're not going anywhere. If anything picks back up or we get any reports of any kind of big damage, we'll be here. Of course, we got our crews working around the clock, and we're going to have more coming up on WDAM 7 News at 5.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
There being water rescues on Hardy Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Water rescue from stalled car on Hardy. That's West Hattiesburg.
Yeah, they're reporting 2 feet of water in the Willis parking lot in West Hattiesburg.
2 feet of water? Wow.
Yeah.
So they've had a lot of rain. But before we go then, let's take a look at some of the rainfall totals. Thankfully, the heaviest stuff has now moved east of Hattiesburg. It's out towards Sunrise, but the rainfall has been very heavy with some of these storms. As you can see, over the last hour, the last 3 hours, we're seeing a big stripe in this purple area, which includes West Hattiesburg. 3 to 4 inches of rainfall within the past 3 hours. So the heavy rain continues here to fall. Thankfully, we're getting a little bit of a break with the drainage, but man, a lot of heavy rain still across the area. But as you can see, there is a little bit of a break. We still got more rain, but at least it's going to be lighter, and then we get a little bit of a break off towards the west. So we're still going to continue to watch this. And again, if you see any flooded roads, turn around, don't drown, and please don't drive your car into any water. But for now, I'm going to return you over to regular programming for Chief Meteorologist Patrick Bigby, Meteorologist Hannah Hayes, Meteorologist Ryan Mahan, and Rex Thompson. We hope you all have a good afternoon. We hope you stay safe, and we'll have more coming up on the news at 5. If not sooner, we'll be here to keep you safe and informed.